I remember when Mark McGee left Reading, and as a fan, Nick Gooding in as co-managers, and it was two of the most experienced players within the squad and two of the most experienced heads there, and they carried them to second and had lost the playoff final to Bolton that year. It was the year they were reducing the size of the Premier League. I think the thing that surprised me is this isn't a mid-season change. This isn't a promoting from within to cover yourselves when it's January. This is, you've had the whole summer to make this decision, Dance, and you've gone in this direction. So, I mean, they've got to have some confidence in these boys.
It's all about continuity, isn't it? Because you maintain the vast majority of that squad from the championship success that got you 100 plus points. Yes, you lose the manager, which is difficult to try and come back from, but to keep the appointment internal makes a lot of sense to me. There's been changes at boardroom level at Lincoln City in recent times. Ron Fowler's now the chairman. He's now chairman in his own right with Liquid Investments, and they've certainly got the fans on side. It's loads here today as well, by the way, Will. I mean, it's a sellout here at the Riverside, but there's a good, I would say, near 3,000 Lincoln fans who are on the far side to us. It's a club that feels united. Well, it's a club that feels like it's happy to be written off, it's happy to be overlooked.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And when you've picked up 103 points in a season, the last thing you want to do is rip it up and start again, Will. So for me, this was the best decision they could have made at the time, probably the right decision, but we don't know if it will work. And it's okay to say that, but I think they've made this decision for the right reasons, and hopefully it pays off, because I think Tom Shaw, who Dan spoke to earlier, and Chris Cohen, they're two very likeable guys. Clearly the players respond well to them, and it's going to be fascinating to see how they approach today, because there won't be many tougher away assignments for Lincoln City. Are they going to come out and go for it and take it to them, or are they going to park the bus and look to hit them with the occasional break? We'll see.
Well, listen, later today, don't forget, here on TalkSport 2, this is the first of a double-header from the Championship, as later we're bringing the action from Bramall Lane as Sheffield United take on Birmingham City in the late kick-off. There are 6 3 o'clock kick-offs in the Championship today, and plenty of action happening in League 1 and League 2. So Adrian Durham is taking you around the ground over on TalkSport, but here on TalkSport 2, it's a party atmosphere at the Riverside. It's a sold-out crowd. It's Lincoln back in the division for the first time in over 60 years, going up against a Boro side desperate to come back from the heartbreak of the final stretch of last season. I'm delighted to hand you over to our commentary team for our 3 o'clock kick-off this afternoon. Adrian Clark is alongside Ian Danter.
Thanks, Will, and a very good afternoon to you, wherever and however you're listening to TalkSport 2. Matchday 1 in the EFL Championship pits the side who've spent the most against the side who have the least to spend of all the 24 sides. Middlesbrough have invested the money from the sale of Hayden Hackney and the sell-on clause they got from Morgan Rogers' move to Chelsea to get themselves several high-quality additions to the squad of Kim Hellberg, and they've got one today in Ashley Phillips, who signed for, we believe, £7 million from Tottenham Hotspur to bolster the back line. They're looking to push on from the playoff madness of several months ago and do what it looked like they would do for long spells last season, namely nab an automatic spot. It's a big day for the club visiting Teesside today. It's 65 years that have passed since Lincoln City last played in the second tier of English football, and how they dominated League One last year to achieve that feat. 100 plus points and unbeaten in the league since late November, both hugely impressive achievements for a club run on a tight budget. Their budget was 17th out of 24 in League One last year, for example. But the main architect of that success, manager Michael Skubala, went to Bristol City early in the summer, leading the Ibs to a point. Joint bosses from within, Tom Shaw and Chris Cohen taking charge. Couldn't really have asked for a more welcome to the Championship lads game than this one at a sold out and expectant Riverside. Both these sides won their respective Carabao Cup fixtures a week ago. Boro beat Wrexham here live on TalkSport 2. 3 changes from that night, including 2 debuts from recently arrived players. Radek Vitek, former Manchester United player now, who was on loan at Bristol City last year. He was brought in by Hellberg. He displaces Sol Bryn. Carl Joseph, recently arrived from Hull, displaces Jeremy Sarmiento to the bench. And Alpha Kante also comes in as a defensive midfielder. And that means Max Arston drops to the bench. 4-4-2 for the Borough. Radek Vitek then in goal. The back 4 of Callum Britton, Luke Ayling, Adilson Malanda and Neto Borges. Morgan Whittaker, Alpha Kante, Sebastian Berhalter and Leo Castledine across midfield, with Will Lancashire, who scored on his debut against Wrexham last Friday night in the Cup, alongside Carl Joseph. For Lincoln, their first game under that new management saw them win 2-1 at Derby County. Just one change to the side from that win, but it does mean a change in system. Riley Towler's come in to replace Rob Street. So 5 at the back for the Imps. In front of their goalkeeper George Wickens is Tendai Darikwa, Tom Hamer, Riley Towler, Deji Elarewe and Adam Reach. Then 3 in midfield, Dom Jeffries, Conor McGrandles and Ivan Varfolomeev. Freddie Draper and Ben House are in attack. Bobby Madley is our referee this afternoon. We have a really good viewpoint here at the Riverside Stadium for you. We're in the West stand, right at the top, at the back of this stand. And to our left is the North stand, and the South, both filled with Middlesbrough fans. Over in the Southeast corner, there's nearly 3,000 Lincoln fans delighted to see their club, after not just one generation but 2, back in the second tier of English football. How will they cope with this trip to one of the favourites for promotion? We are ready for the off. Middlesbrough in there, all red with gold numbers to signify their 150th anniversary. Lincoln in their change strip today of white shirts with light blue epaulettes, I will say, on the shoulders. Adrian Clark alongside me today, and Middlesbrough are heading for the South stand away to our right in this first half, looking to get Will Lancashire into the game early. Tries a cross from the corner flag, but it's won back by Lincoln City in their clear downfield.
Yeah, what an atmosphere here at the Riverside. Big expectations for the season ahead. Obviously they fell at the final hurdle at Wembley in May, but there's a real belief around Middlesbrough Football Club that Kim Hjelberg is building something pretty special, and yeah, they're excited to see what lies ahead today and for the months that follow, but this won't be easy against a very well-oiled Lincoln side.
Well, Middlesbrough kept the ball inside the Lincoln half for these opening 56 seconds on TalkSport 2. Now it's just inside their own half. Neto Borges finds Alpha Kante, who's being pressurised by Varfolomeev from the Lincoln midfield, but here's Sebastian Berhalter, the American, who is ostensibly Hayden Hackney's replacement. Now Hackney's gone from Middlesbrough to Everton. 0-0 on TalkSport 2. Keep you in touch with goals elsewhere this afternoon as well. Nothing yet in the 3 o'clock kickoffs in Championship, League 1, League 2 and National League. Here is Alpha Kante in the centre circle for Middlesbrough. Spreads play out to the far left-hand side to Castledine. Borges has gone just ahead of him on the overlap, but instead it's been knocked in field. And here's Luke Ayling, the captain, midpoint of the Lincoln half, urged to shoot from distance and screws a right-footed shot well wide. No danger for Wickens in the Lincoln goal, but an early shot across the Imps' bows. 0-0.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Just gets the crowd going, doesn't it? I think there we get an inclination of what Lincoln are going to do here, and that's sit back in on the edge of their box for the most part. And when that happens, it allows the Middlesbrough centre-backs to push on deep inside Lincoln territory, and one of them will always be the spare man. And there, on that occasion, it was Ayling. He drove forward and thought, why not, I'm going to have a crack. It wasn't on target, but it was the right idea.
2 minutes gone, 0-0 on TalkSport 2. And Malanda hurried into a clearance out of play. It's good work from Ben House and also from Freddie Draper to close down the space. So Lincoln have a throw right in front of our commentary position, left-hand side, midway point of the Middlesbrough half. Lincoln attacking the north stand to our left in this first period. Back it goes to George Wickens, the keeper. Right-footed clearance right downfield, and it was intended for Ben House, but it was well dealt with by the Middlesbrough back line, and Callum Britton lets the ball trickle out of play, knowing it's a throw to his side. Kante gives it away though, and House is straight onto it left-hand side, and he's pushed over by Callum Britton as he went for the byline. Bobby Madley gives the free kick, and this is where Lincoln love to have the ball when they're going downfield. Set pieces against the opposition. 0-0.
Yeah, they're going to be good at set pieces this season, you know it. They were tremendous last year. It was interesting, all 4 champions across the 4 divisions all scored the most set pieces. It's not rocket science, Dan. Get these right and you should have a pretty good season. That was a bit slack, wasn't it, from Kante first up, and then Britton to dive in.
which means Varfolomeev is going to take this free kick from this near side, the Lincoln left. It's 10 yards from the dead ball line, right on the touchline. He's going to swing it in right-footed towards the goal rather than away from. Reach is waiting in case there's going to be a short pass to the left-hand corner of the area. Raises his right arm, Varfolomeev, and strikes it now for Lincoln into the near post. Malanda went up, and it's bouncing in the 6-yard box, cleared away from in front of the goal line, comes out to the edge of the area, and Reach, who loves to score the spectacular, wins another corner as he's deflected off Joseph, and I think it was Neto Borges that got the ball off the line as the ball bounced awkwardly in the Middlesbrough 6-yard box.
Yeah, it was not dealt with very comfortably at all by Middlesbrough. It caused absolute chaos. And yeah, Borges it was that clears his lines from the goal line. But the danger isn't over here for Boro.
No.
Lincoln have an in-swinging corner now from the opposite side.
From their right, Lincoln, it's Adam Reach raising both his arms above his head. Swirls the left-footed ball in, punched away by the goalkeeper. Varfolomeev chasing after it, Joseph and Castledine with him, and Castledine has got the better of him, but across comes Tendai Darikwa, the last man for Lincoln, clears it downfield, and Draper now trying to out-muscle Malanda in the area. Malanda forced to turn it behind for another Lincoln corner. Good stuff, 0-0.
Right, it's a really good start to the game. Very end-to-end. And Lincoln, even though they haven't strung many passes together yet, they're so good at being direct and just gaining territory in the blink of an eye. And because they've got two willing runners up top in Ben House and Freddie Draper, they've always got an outlet. They've always got someone to aim for, and those two have started this game outstandingly well.
But an early problem for Conor McGrandles, the Lincoln City midfielder, who's holding his left leg a little painfully as he sits just next to the centre circle. So the corner for Lincoln's going to have to wait here. McGrandles is going to get treatment from the Lincoln physios. 0-0 here on TalkSport 2, 5 minutes gone. Huddersfield have the lead against AFC Wimbledon in League One this afternoon. Then Silly Fernandez for the Terriers. Cambridge United back at League One level, haven't taken long to take the lead against Wigan Athletic. Kellen Watts for Neil Harris's side, promoted at the first time of asking last year. And in the National League, Worthing lead Forest Green by a 1-0. Adam Hinshelwood in charge of Worthing, let's not forget.
Done well, haven't they, to get into the National League. Conor McGrandles is a key player for Lincoln City. I know that the supporters, I think he got Supporters Player of the Year. He's the guy that they kept talking about last year. Mr. Consistent, centre of the park. You know, you look at his stats, you think, wow, nothing special, but it's the work rate, the energy, the tempo he sets, the ball winning as well. So I really hope that he's okay to continue. He's not moving particularly well. I don't want to worry Imps fans that are listening to us, but it's
the back of the knee, I think, that he's feeling some concern about. He's limping, not badly limping, but he's not walking steadily at all towards this near touchline, and Tom Shaw's come straight out to have a chat with him to find out the extent. Of course, he's got to stay off the field for a minute regardless, because of the new rules for injured players. So again, he's holding the back of his left knee. He may well come back on and try and play through it. There's certainly no intention of giving up the ghost yet. So Lincoln are down to 10 men for the moment here on TalkSport 2. They do have a corner kick at the north stand end. McGrandles now just trying to run it off down this near touchline whilst he waits to come back on. So a man advantage for Middlesbrough for a moment, but they have a corner to defend. There's a clutch of Lincoln players beyond the far post. Arsenal style, they've been watching your mob. In it comes from Adam Reach, deep to the far post, and Vitek has to punch over his own crossbar on debut. There was nobody really around him in a white Lincoln shirt, but he felt the need to punch it over the bar anyway. 0-0.
Well, it was swirling, wasn't it, in the air? It was dipped at the last moment as well, the ball. It was an excellent delivery. And one thing about Vitek is he's got good height. He's 6'6", and he just lifted his arm up, took no chances. You don't want to be taking risks first 15 minutes of a new season.
Another corner for Lincoln from this near side now. Their left. Varfolomeev to take it right-footed into the near post. Flicked away by Malanda. And Borges trying to prevent the corner, and he's done so down the left-hand side for the Teessiders. Works it down the left touchline for Castledine, who's just passed it straight out of play, trying to give it back to the Brazilian. 0-0, Lincoln throw.
Yeah, unusually loose from Castledine because he's technically an excellent player. Still only 20, by the way, Castledine. Good loan spells at Shrewsbury and at Huddersfield, and this year it does look like he's going to get more opportunities to start here.
Long throw for Lincoln into the box. McGrandle's back out there now. Let's see how he's moving for the next minute or two. It's 0-0. We've played 9 minutes on TalkSport 2 at the Riverside Stadium. Wickens, the Lincoln goalkeeper, hits a long ball downfield looking for House. Headed away by Britton at the edge of his own penalty area. Brought down by Whittaker, who's barely had a kick in these opening exchanges. Kante driving towards halfway, but shows too much of that to McGrandles, who's showing no ill effects there in trying to win that ball back. And Lincoln have it again with the young fair-haired midfielder Ivan Varfolomeev. Now hit long downfield by Hamer. Good control from Draper just outside the area. And House snaffling in to stop Whittaker bringing it clear. And they're doing what they did last season that I saw in League One, Lincoln, not giving their opponents a moment's rest. 0-0.
No, they work so hard. They're well drilled, they'll squeeze your space. Lincoln City, I think Boro's central midfielder struggling at the moment. Kante's not started the game brilliantly alongside Berhalter, and really you think of last year with Hackney and Aidan Morris. You know, that is a weakened unit today.
But here's Carl Joseph trying to get down the left-hand side to get the better of El Arewe, but he fouled him as he got to the corner of the penalty area. He tried to play on, but the whistle had long since gone for the foul on the Lincoln centre-half, and so the Imps have a free kick. Blackpool 0, Wycombe 1 in League One. They had 7 wins in their last 9 at the end of the season, Blackpool under Ian Evatt, but Fred Onyedinma has put Michael Duff's side ahead at the Seaside. Here we are on Teesside, and it's 0-0. Adrian Clark.
Yeah, really enjoying the game so far. Obviously, we've been punctuated with one fairly lengthy stoppage, but yeah, really positive start from Lincoln City. Gaining territory. The front two are a proper handful, and Lincoln in midfield as well are certainly getting the upper hand. I think the way that they're squeezing and applying pressure on the Middlesbrough pair.
First championship goal of the 3 o'clocks is gone in at the Bet365. Stoke 1, Swansea 0. Eric Bocat for Stoke, who finished 17th last year. 8 successive seasons finishing between 14th and 18th for the Potters. Long throw from Lincoln, bounces at the edge of the area. Down goes El Arewe as he was trying to make a nuisance of himself. And Middlesbrough have won the free kick just inside their own penalty area, left-hand side. We've played 11.5 minutes on TalkSport 2. It's 0-0.
Yeah, haven't got going, Middlesbrough. My stats tell me they've completed 30 passes. You know, in some games, 11 minutes in, and they've completed 100 at least. So,
and another loose ball just to make your point there for you, Adrian. Neto Borges this time passing it out of play.
And the reason that they're not looking after the ball is because of the pressure football that Lincoln are applying. It's as simple as that. They just haven't got to grips with it.
Draper, good ball out to the right-hand side, swirled in by Derikwa, and Adam Reach on the half volley tucks it away beautifully. What a start for Lincoln City, back in the championship. Long ball downfield, lovely flick header from Draper, saw Derikwa on the right, swirled the cross in, and his fellow fullback Adam Reach with a clinical half volley finish. What a start for Lincoln, and what a goal. Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln 1.
That is the sweetest of shots. It really is, from Adam Reach. It was effortless. It was nonchalant. It's one long ball, flicked on, and then the cutback is terrific. But he doesn't break stride. He does not break stride, the fullback, and he just strokes it, left-footed, into the far corner, as if that is the easiest thing in the world to do. And trust me, it isn't. What a start from Lincoln City.
He has caressed that into the back of the net, Adam Reach. I mentioned a little earlier, he likes a long-range effort. Good deal closer that time, but no less stylish. And the former Sheffield Wednesday man has put Lincoln City a goal up and sent their supporters on the far side into raptures. They would have been dreaming of a start like this as they came up the M1 and the A1M today. And here they are, 1-0 up against much fancied Middlesbrough on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, and they deserve it. They deserve the lead. It's been a very, very confident opening from Lincoln City. And that goal encapsulates them, doesn't it? One long pass from back to front, flick it on, and then can we produce a bit of quality?
Yeah.
And of course they did. Derikwa with a cutback, it's inch perfect for reach, but then the way he strode onto the ball and stroked it home was just class.
Middlesbrough trying to respond. It's Lancashire, good ball out to Castledine, left hand side, approaching the left hand corner of the penalty area, up against Derikwa, who brings him down right at the edge of the area, just outside. Bobby Madley's not given a penalty. It's a free kick on that apex, that corner of the Lincoln penalty area down the Middlesbrough left.
I'll tell you what, that looks close to a pen. It's not. It's the right decision.
He fell inside the area, did Castledine, but the foul was outside. Anyway, we don't need VAR. This is a VAR-free zone here.
He got it right first time, as most referees do. So you just got to trust the refs. And yeah, it was good play though, and almost the perfect response from Boro. What can they do from this free kick? It's literally on the corner of the 18-yard box.
Yeah, couldn't be much closer, could it, to being inside the area. So Castledine is standing over it. Lincoln are holding their line around 8 yards from goal. There's a two-man wall protecting Wicken's near post. It's on the Middlesbrough left, so Castledine standing over it. There's one or two at the edge of the area he can just roll it to for a direct shot like Kante, but he whips it in right-footed, and it goes through the wall, but then cleared away by Lincoln. And out comes Radek Vitek, whose first job as a Middlesbrough goalkeeper is to pick the ball out the back of the net after his arrival from Manchester United. 1-0 Lincoln on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, look, I like the sign, and I think Vitek's going to be a big success here, but I mean, no one's saving that. I mean, it was just hit so early, so cleanly from Adam Reach that there was no chance for the goalkeeper to set himself for a dive, let alone get to it. But let's see how Boro respond here. We'll get an idea on their character.
Borges down the left of the dead ball line, wins a corner kick. Good sliding challenge, put it out of play, but Middlesbrough have their first corner after a quarter of an hour here at Riverside Stadium on TalkSport 2, and it will be Sebastian Berhalter, the American, to take the corner right in front of those Lincoln fans in that southeast corner of the ground opposite our commentary position here. So right-footed in-swinger to come from the American. A love train of Middlesbrough players in and around the penalty spot. Joseph and Ayling and Malanda in there. In it comes deep to the far post. Callum Britton brings it down on his chest, but has to take it outside the area. And then Alpha Kante. You get a point in Australian rules football for that, but not in the Championship. 1-0 Lincoln.
No. I mean, I don't think you should even get a point for that in any sport, really. That was absolutely woeful from Kante, who's not started the game great. I don't want to bury him, but he struggled to get to grips with it at the base of that midfield. And yeah, that was a rushed effort.
He's back from a loan at Saint-Étienne, where he went in January. He had arrived from Troyes in French football, but back here and trying to make a name for himself in the Middlesbrough midfield. Lincoln have forced Middlesbrough to pass the ball out of play once again, throw down the left-hand side. House can't reach his ball to him, and instead it's won back first by Callum Britton, and then a ball upfield from Whittaker that was looking for Lancashire but didn't make its way through to the new side. Now he's got it back on halfway and immediately tries to release Carl Joseph, but a good starting position from George Wickens, the Lincoln goalkeeper. And again, Draper making a real nuisance of himself, this big, tall, rangy striker, and he's won a free kick for a handball, I think, off Callum Britton down by the corner flag. He is a tricky customer, is Freddie Draper.
He's quite clever, isn't he? He's obviously industrious. He'll work the line, he'll make those channel runs, but once he gets hold of the ball, he's smart as well, and I think he's an excellent player. It was a great pickup from Lincoln City. Their recruitment has been nothing short of sensational. Now, is this a throw or is this a free kick?
It's a throw.
It should have been a free kick.
Well, in it comes the throw into the area. Malanda heads clear, comes out to the edge of the box, steered out to this left-hand side for Hamer. Tries the first time cross, but it hits the backside of Callum Britton, who will try and clear it the second time of asking. Whittaker under pressure, turns it away, and it's picked up by Jeffries. Now Draper tucks it back into midfield. Varfolomeev can't ride the challenge of Kante, but the ball ricochets to House, who just calms it down for Lincoln and sends it back to halfway. Cross deep, drops for reach at the dead ball line, but there's an offside flag up against Lincoln, and Middlesbrough get the free kick. Goals elsewhere. Huddersfield 2-0 up on AFC Wimbledon, another for Derenceli Fernandez. Portsmouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. Terry Devlin at Fratton Park. Stockport through Jack Diamond are 1-up at Plymouth Argyle in League One. But the score here at Riverside Stadium on TalkSport 2 with 18 minutes gone is Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1. Ian Danter and Adrian Clark with you for our first Saturday 3 p.m. Championship commentary of the season. Here is Kante for Middlesbrough, finds Berhalter, midway point of the Lincoln half, steers it out to Whittaker. Got a chance to run at Adam Reach for almost the first time this afternoon. Works it back infield to Berhalter, first time ball to Britton, who's stationed out on this near side, the Middlesbrough right as well. Whittaker again at the corner of the penalty area, faced up by House, tries to swing across in left-footed, it ricochets away from danger. But Ayling now has it in the centre circle. Middlesbrough trying to hem Lincoln City in for the first time this afternoon.
Exactly, but like you've got Ben House, one of the forwards, covering the left back. You've got McGrandles on his inside as well. It's just the hard work, the work ethic of these Lincoln players is sensational. It really is.
Here's Whittaker for Middlesbrough, jinks inside neatly, and he's clipped by House. Free kick it will be, and Bobby Madley wants a word with Ben House, may even issue a yellow card here to the Lincoln number 18. It might just be a stern talking to, actually. Indeed it is. 0-1. Sheffield Wednesday lead at Leyton Orient. Callum Slattery. David Porch, the Sheffield Wednesday chairman, was on the weekend sports breakfast on TalkSport this morning with Shaban and Cass. And now he's nipped down to Brisbane Road to see his team take the lead. Free kick here to Middlesbrough, midway point of the Lincoln half. To the right of centre, Berhalter once again will strike it, and Lincoln holding their line just inside the 18-yard box.
Yeah, got an overload here at the far post. You see they're 4-5 shirts on 2. Lincoln going zonal.
In it comes from Berhalter, headed towards goal by Malander, but straight at George Wickens, who didn't have to move a muscle to clutch it in front of his goal line. 1-0 Lincoln.
Well, it's a simple set piece, but really effective one. Malander was one of those 5 players, and he just ambled across the face of goal. It was a free header. He probably should have done a little bit better there.
Yeovil lead Carlisle in the National League. Stephen Walker at Hewish Park. 1-0 to Lincoln here on TalkSport 2. Adam Reach with a sweet strike on the half volley to put the Imps ahead from the left-hand side of the area. Derrickwa gives it away. Carl Joseph away down the Middlesbrough left. Only Lancashire up with him at the moment. Gets to the corner of the area and puts the cross in behind the run of Lancashire, and the danger is gone for Lincoln for the moment. 1-0 to the Imps on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, it was a poor final pass from Carl Joseph. You know, the 2 new boys there looking to combine. Joseph's primarily playing left, like split strikers, aren't they? Joseph to the left, Lancashire to the right. And he goes into a really good area there, Joseph, former Hull man, but the cross was behind Lancashire. Really didn't have a lot of pace on it either, and Lincoln can breathe again.
As Wickens, the goalkeeper, smacks the free kick downfield. It won't find a white shirt. Malander nods it down for Borges, being closed down by Derrickwa, so he's forced to hit the early pass that's won back on halfway. Derrickwa let it run, thinking that Jeffries could get in behind him. Jeffries has won it, poor pass. Dom Jeffries goes for goal and it deflects. It's going to be a corner to Lincoln City, and Middlesbrough look nervous as kittens at the back.
It's unconvincing from them at the back, that is for sure. It's a really loose pass from Borges, and yeah, it just nicks off Malander in the end from Jeffries. They are swarming all over them, these white shirts of Lincoln. The phrase I'd use is that they're suffocating the home team. They're absolutely smothering them at the moment, and you know that's the reason that they're 1-0 to the good.
Whittaker's been left up by Hellberg, 2 defenders watching him, otherwise everybody in the Middlesbrough boxes. Varfolomeev sends the kick in, headed back across goal. by Hamer, but it was cleared at the near post. But Hamer goes out to let the ball run out of play for a throw to Lincoln. Now Towler's come forward and Reach to join in the fun. It's going to be a long throw from Lincoln. In it comes, drops at the near post. Kante puts it up in the air, but not too far clear. Headed down for Hamer, right hand side, drives across in, takes a touch off a Middlesbrough boot, and that's another corner to Lincoln City away to our left at the north stand end. And they're still applying the pressure, leading 1-0 midway through the first half on TalkSport 2.
Wow, it's corner number 6. What a start to life in the Championship. 1-0 up. You know, how long into this game are we now? 20 odd minutes. 23 minutes. 6 corners, 1-0, and really you've limited Middlesbrough to next to nothing. This has been terrific from the Imps.
Bartholomeus' latest corner, very deep to the far post, again looking for Hamer, but this time it was out of play before Hamer could really try and get a touch on it, so Middlesbrough get a reprieve. These two teams haven't faced each other since Brian Clough was a Middlesbrough player back in 1960-61 when Clough played and scored in a 1-1 draw at the old Ayerson Park just down the road from here.
It's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. They haven't played each other because Lincoln have been in the league, been an EFL club for a lot of that time. It's just remarkable they've not been in the same division. It just shows what an achievement it is for them to be in the second tier this year.
Crossfield ball out to the Lincoln left, Reach the goal scorer, nods it on. Draper putting Ayling under pressure, goes to ground and wins the free kick and takes it quickly infield to Berhalter. Kante looks to turn and run, plays the ball out to the left hand side, and Borges playing at left back today. He was playing at centre half last week against Wrexham live on TalkSport 2. Malanda was playing as a defensive midfielder, now he's a centre half. But the diagonal ball seeking out Whittaker only finds Adam Reach, who can calmly head it back to his goalkeeper George Wickens. I was chatting pitch side to David Priest, well known to TalkSport 2 listeners, who's now Lincoln's goalkeeping coach, and he was telling me just about the strides that Wickens has made since joining from Fulham a couple of years ago. He's filled out a little bit, 24 years of age, kept nearly 10 clean sheets last year. If he can keep a clean sheet today, goodness me, what a story this would be on opening day in the Championship, because Lincoln lead by a goal to 0 if you're just tuning in to TalkSport 2. Adam Reach scoring the goal to put Lincoln ahead in the 12th minute with a sweet left-footed half volley. Ashley Phillips looking on from the stands just down beneath us, having just signed from Tottenham Hotspur, and rubbing his chin in that sort of strokey beard. Okay, what's going on here, fashion?
I mean, he might get a game soon. He's a good centre half, and I think he'll walk into the Boro starting 11.
Here's Ayling putting a cross into the box. Wickens stayed at home. Joseph went down under pressure from Elarewe, and we could hear the shouts for a penalty from around us. Bobby Madley not interested. 1-0 Lincoln.
Well, Elarewe, it did look like he put his hands on the body, on the back of Carl Joseph there. He didn't need a second invite to go down, mind you. Referee thought it was too soft. It was a little bit risky from the man playing in the middle of this back three for Lincoln.
Well, now Don Jeffries has gone down, claiming a free kick, but the referee says play on. So Ayling up to halfway for Middlesbrough. Plays it out to Callum Britton, who was an excellent piece of business for me, getting him from Blackburn Rovers. Given away though by Middlesbrough, and Lincoln try and release Don Jeffries downfield, but the attempted ball with the outside of the boot from inside the centre circle was overhit.
It was, but they're going to be dangerous from those transitions for sure. So out possession, it's a 5-4-1. So House will drop in to play left wing with Draper doing the donkey work at the top end of the pitch. But when they get good possession, then House joins in as that second striker. It's a good system.
Castledine drives the ball from left to right for Middlesbrough, out to Whittaker on this near side, with Middlesbrough all in red, attacking the south stand to our right in this first half. 27 gone, Lincoln 1-0 up on TalkSport 2. Out to the left hand side, Borges tucks it down the left hand side of the area looking for Castledine. He has to give it back to Borges, the Brazilian. Now Berhalter lofts a cross into the box, but another easy claim for George Wickens, and there's a defender gone down behind the goal for Lincoln City.
Towler, isn't it?
It is Riley Towler, who I remember playing for, I think, Bristol City at Watford as a left back, and he had the most torrid afternoon early in his career. A real education for him that day. I forget who he was up against.
We all have those. We all have a bad one, or 10. But yeah,
he spent 2 years at Portsmouth before coming to Lincoln in July. Given away again by Middlesbrough at the back. Draper swings the ball into the area. There's a run by Derrickwa being made that he very nearly fouled, and he tries to muscle his way back into possession, and he's got it again. Draper down the left-hand side of the area. Reach now joining in, puts an early cross in. Derrickwa goes up for the header, then just misses it, and Castledine will try and bring it clear for the hosts. Plays it down the left-hand side, but the cheers from the far side of the stadium will tell you that's not stadium play. Nearly half an hour gone. Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln 1.
And if it was 2, I don't think Middlesbrough would have any complaints. This has been, a top draw start to the season from the Imps. And Freddie Draper, you just mentioned there, he's a handful.
More than a handful. Long throw, swirled in. It might drop here for Dom Jeffries. Brings it down on his chest, tries to flick it goalwards, comes off Luke Ayling to the middle of the area, and Bartholomew bringing it down, used an arm. Free kick given, but again, all sorts of panic in the Middlesbrough defence as a long throw caused problems, and in the end a push on Berhalter, I think it was, rather than a handball, gave Middlesbrough a free kick they very much are happy to get inside their own 18-yard box.
100%, yeah. It fell nicely, didn't it, to Jeffries? He looked to sort of lob it over the goalkeeper. It took a deflection, but those long throws from Hamer are a menace. You wouldn't want to be defending them, but they're so hard because they're powerful.
Now foul on Castledine by Derrickwa, who was coming in from that right wing back position, saw that Castledine had come in field as well to the midpoint of the Lincoln half and just barged him over. Yeah, well,
Castledine isn't a winger, and he wants to drift into those sort of half space pockets in field. I do think they're lacking a bit of width here today, Middlesbrough. Whittaker as well as another, got a great left foot, but he wants to come in field. I see Whittaker as more of a 10. So yeah, they're lacking a little bit of dynamism out wide at the moment, Kim Helberg's side.
Free kick from Berhalter, pretty much straight down the middle. Carl Joseph tried to win the header, hooked away by Bartholomew, and it's back on halfway with Luke Ayling. 31 minutes gone. You're listening to TalkSport 2. Lincoln leading by a 0-0 at much fancied Middlesbrough. Berhalter steers the ball into the path of Borges, the left back. Gets to the midway point of the half. Up against Jeffries. Castledine flicks it back for Alpha Kante. Right-footed ball into the box. Lancashire! What a save by Wickens! Instinctive save with his left, and the flag's gone up anyway. But I tell you what, George Wickens wasn't to know that. And as Lancashire dived in right in front with a header, Wickens was equal to it. 1-0 Lincoln.
Stunning save from Wickens. The ball comes in from the left. He's onside. The whistle went for a foul from Lancashire. Bit of a soft one, I have to say. Defender hits the deck. It was a nice little flick header from Lancashire, and a wonderful reaction from Wickens in the Lincoln goal. Wouldn't have counted.
Goals going in elsewhere. Swansea have equalised at Stoke. Joseph Opoku makes it 1-1 there. Derby lead at Charlton, Sammy Smodics. Also in the Championship, Barnet leads Salford, much fancied Salford. Ocean Gallagher for the Bees. Leyton Orient equalise home to Sheffield Wednesday. Mansfield lead Doncaster in League 1 through Resoat. Stockport 2 up at Plymouth, Carl Wootton. And York's return to the EFL sees them trail at home to Bristol Rovers under Steve Evans. I fancy them as well to go well in League 2. Clinton Mola with the goal for Bristol Rovers. Ball played into the Lincoln box, but headed away by Towler. Reach is there to tidy it up for the Imps, but they do pass it out of play. Bit of pressure on the Lincoln defence this time, giving a throw to Middlesbrough. Trail by a 0-0, the Boro here in front of their own.
Yeah, still yet to really get going. 69% of possession, but haven't used it particularly well.
Here's Britton, good ball in field. Kante in a bit of space, measures across into the area. They all go up, and it was Luke Ayling and Carl Joseph both went for the same ball, and it was Luke Ayling, the captain, that got most of it. But Bit of a 50-pence header and went behind for a goal kick to Lincoln, and the fans are telling the referee, don't forget this time-wasting stuff.
Well, yeah, we've got these new rules, haven't we? 10 seconds for this, 10 seconds for that. You know, but this game is being played at a quick tempo. There's no time to breathe, is there? And I've got to say, having watched 3 or 4 pre-season games, it's good to have proper football. Like
you're dead right.
Like a friendly, he's half the speed of a real league game, and I don't think football's the same. It's not the same without a crowd. We saw that during COVID, and it's not the same unless there are points on the table, and we're seeing that with a real high octane game here.
You're listening to EFL Live with Sage, the official accounting software partner of the EFL. Ian Dancer and Adrian Clark with you at the Riverside, as it's brought forward by Conor Grandals for Lincoln, who lead by a goal to 0, but elects to turn the ball back into his own half. Portsmouth 1, QPR 1. Ilias Chair equalises for the R's. Long ball downfield for Lincoln, looking for House. Dealt with well by Ayling on that occasion. House had temporarily got goal side. Borges' clearance hits the backside of Derikwa, but actually hit his hand, according to Bobby Madley, who's closer to it than I am, and gives Middlesbrough a free kick. But they've got just over 10 minutes to do something about this scoreline, Middlesbrough, before they go back into the dressing room. And looking at Kim Hellberg's face at the moment, he's going to give him a right volley if it stays like this at the break.
Yeah, wouldn't blame him either. Just that sort of tamish free header from Malanda. In terms of shots on target from Middlesbrough. In fairness, Lincoln scored from their only shots on target as well, so the keepers haven't really been tested, but it's certainly been an absorbing match, and what we're seeing here is Lincoln being Lincoln. If anyone thought they're going to change now that they've gone up a division, well, the answer's no.
Whittaker infield for Middlesbrough, driving forward in the centre of the Lincoln half, but he loses possession, but so too do Lincoln. As soon as they want it back, they give it up. Castledine, left-hand corner of the area, driving into the box now. He's got Derikwa backpedaling, tried to get the cross in, but it just ricocheted into the path of Varfolomeev, and he clears up to halfway, and Draper makes a too strong a challenge on Malanda, and he's going to get a yellow card here for kicking the ball away, and becomes the first player booked this afternoon, Freddie Draper.
Bit daft, yeah. Silly way to pick up a caution. He did commit the foul. Should have just left it alone.
I don't think the foul in itself brought the yellow card.
No, there wasn't a lot in it. But what Boro are finding, even when Castledine got it there, there's always two. There's the wing back, and then there's someone on the inside, whether that's the spare centre back, whether that's a forward tracking back. There's little space out wide.
They've lost the ball again, Middlesbrough, and McGrandles brings it forward for Lincoln, tucks it out to the left-hand side, only reach out there at the moment, gives it back to McGrandles, just out of the halfway line, and he plays a lovely ball into out to find Tom Hamer on the right-hand side. Early cross into the box, House gets up for a header, 15 yards from goal, and can't really connect with it, but he beat Ayling in the leap, but just couldn't get the purchase on the header. Goal kick Middlesbrough, Lincoln 1-0 up. Adrian Clark.
Yeah, he snuck in on the blind side of Luke Ayling there. It was a cross from deep, really hard to score from those kind of situations, but the way that Ben House attacked the ball, if he had made decent contact, that certainly would have had enough power to beat the goalkeeper.
Reach, tucks it in field for Varfolomeev for Lincoln. Just to his right now, driving forward is Jeffries, tried a shot of his block, comes back out to Varfolomeev, and he plays it back to the halfway line. Elarewe finds Hamer just inside his own half. Now Middlesbrough try and press as the ball goes back to Wickens, the goalkeeper, outside his area. Clips it left-footed downfield, looking for Reach. Comfortable, cushioned header for Callum Britton. Now has it right-hand corner of his own area, and he's closed down immediately from Ben House, and the ball ricochets out for a Middlesbrough goal kick.
Well, I bet you, obviously we're not privy. We're not like Southampton. We're not privy to training sessions.
Oh!
I'm sorry.
He's gone early.
I couldn't resist. But I can imagine them Lincoln doing a lot of that. We're out of possession. You close down. Then the ball moves. You close down. They're so well drilled when they don't have the ball. They are outstanding.
Credit to Chris Cohen and Tom Shaw for picking up the slack from Michael Scubala's departure as manager to Bristol City in the summer. Here come Middlesbrough, 7 minutes to half time, trying to get themselves back level. down the left-hand side of the area, cross in front of goal. Everybody's missed it. Whittaker missed it, Lancashire missed it, Castledine missed it, and it ended up being a comfortable pickup in his 6-yard box for the goalkeeper George Wickens. How on earth did nobody touch that cross? 1-0 Lincoln.
I cannot believe what I've just seen there. I mean, the ball is just, it dribbles along the face of goal, 5 yards out. It just goes past everybody. I can't believe it. What a let-off for Lincoln City. Huge let-off, because that should have been tapped. That should have been a tap-in for not one Boro player, but maybe 3. And somehow they all missed it. Quite remarkable.
Well, now Towler's been told he's got to go off for a moment. I'm not sure what the problem is with the centre-half for Lincoln, but I think he might have gone down and needed some treatment. But he's been told he's got to wait a minute by the 4th official.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of this, I think, early on in the season.
Could have been preventing the goal kick being taken quickly. And Towler's holding his hands out to the 4th official, but they're trying to invoke these rules as quickly as they can. House went down and was caught by Callum Britton. Referee waited for a moment and they gave Lincoln the decision. They've got a free kick. Cambridge 2, Wigan 0 in League One. Louis Apperet gets a second for Cambridge on their return to League One. Tranmere had a rotten end to last season. Lee Shrewsbury by a goal to 0 at Prenton Park in League Two. Grimsby 1-0 up on relegated Exeter. And don't forget, late today, Sheffield United against Birmingham City. 5:30 kickoff. That's live here on TalkSport 2. Straight after this, with Ian Stringer and another former Arsenal player we have as a pundit in Perry Groves.
The one and only. Yeah. Good old Perry. Wow. I just, the front two have been superb. That was how they win every second ball, don't they?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And look, Ayling misjudged the header, it flicks off his head, and then the second centre half's too slow to react. They're not handling Lincoln's forwards at all well.
Reach with a free kick for Lincoln from the left-hand side, flicked away by Britton to the right-hand corner of the area. It's lobbed back into the box by McGrandles, but Vitek comfortably claims and clears from hands immediately, trying to get it downfield. Well, he did, but only as far as Adam Reach, who picks it up and lofts the ball back into the box. Look at the House, claims for offside, not given. Didn't look offside to me. And then there's a foul given for a clip on the ankles of Carl Joseph. And time ticks away a little more. 41 minutes played. Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1 on TalkSport 2. Ball's back on halfway with Callum Britton in the red of Middlesbrough. Malanda has it now, just inside the centre circle. Borges to his left. Sends it out to the far left-hand side. And Joseph back in field for Ayling, the captain, who will drive into the Lincoln half of the field. Plays the ball just to his left for Castledine, under pressure from Vartholomeyev. He gives it back to Ayling. Now Callum Britton plays a pass backwards to square to Malanda. Borges held up by a couple of Lincoln players, gives it back to Luke Ayling once more. Swings across in, headed away by Erewe. But the second ball picked up by Middlesbrough on this occasion. Trying to hem Lincoln in. Everybody back in Lincoln white. Volley cleared by Towler, looking for Draper but won't find him. QPR in front at Portsmouth. Portsmouth 1, QPR 2. Koki Saito putting Rangers in front at Fratton Park. Lincoln in front here at the Riverside on TalkSport 2 in the last knockings of the first half. 42 minutes played. Here is Adilson Malanda finding Kante. Almost passed the ball straight out of play, but kept in play by Borges, who had to step back a touch. Now it's worked in field to Berhalter. Touch back for Ayling, who very nearly gave the ball up to Ben House and would have been the last man, and Draper might have been away and House might have been away, but instead here come Middlesbrough. They're trying to get Callum Britton into the game, but Adam Reach gets himself between ball and man, and then House gets dispossessed. Whittaker, quick feet, right hand side of the area, goes down under pressure from McGrandles, and the referee is not interested and says goal kick to Lincoln City. 1-0 they lead.
My instinct tells me that that is a good decision from the referee. It's brilliant footwork, really silky from Morgan Whittaker. Goes past a couple of players, then into the box. It's just a little bit of physical contact. He goes down very easily, in my opinion, and I think the referee has nailed that.
Flicked on by Draper from the long goal kick downfield, but Lincoln can't get the second ball this time. Britain's just elected to hoof it back in field. Picked up by Borges inside his own 18-yard box. 90 seconds of normal time to play in this first half. And all the euphoria that accompanied the last few minutes before kick-off has evaporated rather quickly for the Middlesbrough faithful here. Lincoln are more than a match for high-flying Middlesbrough from last season. Malanda plays a square ball for Ayling, just over the halfway line here, and now Callum Britton receives it. Plays the short pass infield to Belhouter, but again Lincoln have got everybody behind the ball, but now it's played through the lines for Castledine to work it up left to Borges. Clips in an early cross, but Wicken says that's mine and claims it comfortably for Lincoln City. He clears from hands, looking for the combative Draper, who's up against Malanda, but Malanda does well, shields the ball from him and tucks the ball back to Vitek. Ball's going to go up in a second to let us know how much minimum additional time we'll have at the end of the first half on TalkSport 2. Another ball given away, this time on halfway by Joseph. Reach tries to flick it on to Derrick, who has come across to this near side. Went to ground, wanted a free kick. Referee again says play on. Whittaker for Middlesbrough. Good quick feet again from Morgan Whittaker. Finds Lancashire. Rides the challenger McGrandles. Kante releases Borges in a bit of space down the left-hand side for Middlesbrough into 3 minutes of added time. Kante finds Berhalter. Slides the ball into the edge of the air. A little flick from Whittaker. And then Joseph sends it out left to Borges. Joseph again! Brings a great save. Instinctive save by Wickens. Turns it behind for a corner to Boro. As we start those 3 minutes of additional time, Lincoln 1 up.
Well, that was the best passage of play from Middlesbrough in the entire game by a long way. Lots and lots of passes, 15, 20 of them. They open it up and Joseph draws a point-blank range save from Wickens, who stays really big in his goal. That's outstanding goalkeeping.
But there's a corner to defend here for Lincoln. Into the near post. Takes a touch from Carl Joseph, but that heavy touch allowed Vartholomeev to get it half clear to Rikwa. Tried to ride the challenge of one, manages to slide it down the right-hand side, and Jeffries wins a throw for Lincoln City. Can they go in at half-time, holding on to this one-goal lead that they got early in the piece through Adam Reach? It's going to be a throw bang on halfway, taken quickly, looking for Draper, who's an obvious target downfield. Malanda's got a chunk of his shirt. Draper trying to run him down the right-hand side of the box, and he's hurt himself as he went over the dead ball line. He's kicking the ground with his right foot. I don't know quite what he's done there. He might have grazed himself more than anything else.
I think so. It was a good battle, actually. Both got hands on one another, Draper and Malanda, and then he slides on the AstroTurf.
Yeah, it's a bit like the late great Kevin Keegan's fall off his bike on Superstars.
Yeah, I mean that was still.
Oh yeah,
that was still. When I played at Luton in particular.
Oh, you played on that plastic pitch.
That Astro was an absolute shocker. That was.
If the ball bounced, you were waiting 30 seconds for it to come down.
It was burn-tastic. No one wanted to make a slide tackle on there, that's for sure.
I reckon you'd all go out there wearing big pants like Gabor Kirali, the old Palace goalkeeper.
Should have done, yeah.
Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln 1. 2 minutes of that minimum 3 have gone, and Middlesbrough giving up possession, but the ball over halfway, intended for Draper's overhit, and Ayling can retrieve. What have Middlesbrough got left in these last few seconds of the first half, trailing by a goal to 0? Here's Ayling on halfway, looks up, hits a diagonal, seeking out Joseph. Gets the header across goal. Lancashire comes for it, but claimed by Wickens. And that may well be that for this first half.
Route run, really, wasn't it? A big diagonal from Ayling. Good header into the box. Goalkeeper gets to the loose ball first. Yeah, look, I think Kim Helberg's going to need a bit of a rethink.
Oh, Draper's just robbed Ayling down this near side. Cuts in field. He goes for goal ambitiously from 30 yards out, and it screws well wide. But the tenacity of Freddie Draper, the academy graduate, has been a delight to watch if you're a Lincoln fan in this first half, that's for sure.
Yeah, he grafts and grafts and grafts, and he's got good quality. Not there with that shot, that was a poor one, but he's led the line in the way that every manager would want their striker to lead the line.
Meanwhile, at the other end, here come Middlesbrough trying to get themselves level before the break, but the 3 minutes of minimum stoppage time have already been played, and Bobby Madley now blows the whistle, and, well, not really boos that you can hear. Well, one or two, a smattering, but mostly I would say it's a bit of disbelief that once again Middlesbrough, whose home campaign toward the end of the season looked really nervous at times. I saw Portsmouth come and win here when they look to have automatic promotion within their sights still, and it's Lincoln City, newly promoted from League One, who've come to the Riverside and have gone about their business in a fashion that sees them in front at the break, and it was a great goal that put them in front. Long ball downfield. Freddie Draper has been a nuisance all afternoon so far up front. Flicked the ball out to the wide right. Tendai Darikwa pulled the ball back into space inside the area, and running onto it was the former Sheffield Wednesday player Adam Reach, who caressed it left-footed past new signing Radek Vitek into the back of the net. And that was that. Wickens has made a couple of good saves at the other end to keep a clean sheet for Lincoln, and if they do that, they've got the most precious 3 points with which to start their season. At the break, on Teesside, it is Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1.
Thank you so much, Ian Danta. Adrian Clark, what a start from Lincoln City, and you heard Dan say it there. What a strike from Adam Reach to get them off the mark for the season.
Oh, it was delicious. It really just caressed it. It was just a stroke with the left foot into the bottom corner, as if it was the easiest thing in the world to do, and it really wasn't one touch, with the ball travelling at speed. But yeah, it was trademark Lincoln. They boomed it down the line, flick on, Darikwa gets on the end of it and puts a good ball into the danger zone, and then they're clinical. That's what Lincoln are all about. And then it's down to their off-the-ball work, and they've completely smothered Boro in that first half and limited them to very, very little. I think they deserve the lead. Definitely deserve the lead at the break.
Yeah, I think if you're Kim Helberg, you're going to be disappointed though, because it's one full back crossing for another. The back four are basically lined up across the 6-yard box, and there's just nobody chasing back to try and put any kind of challenge on Reach at all. He's in acres of space.
Yeah, look, as a former winger, I know I would have got the blame for that. So Morgan Whittaker, who's playing on the right wing for Middlesbrough, he'll probably be getting told off as we speak now by Kim Helberg. Where were you? You've got to track back, and that is part of your job. You can't just stay up the pitch. So yeah, definitely the back four got drawn across, and you need a midfielder to therefore be diligent and make sure that Reach can't get onto the end of it. But I don't want to be too critical of Boro there. I'd rather praise Lincoln and the way that they've gone about their work, because they have impressed me massively. And I think no matter who they were playing here this afternoon, Lincoln City, if they have these standards, they are going to be a bit of a nightmare for the other sort of 22 championship clubs, because they're just so hard to play against.
And right now, you're right, Boro have been absolutely outworked. Lincoln have been brilliant off the ball. Do you think Helberg needs to make changes, or is it a case of upping that work rate and doing a little bit more themselves?
Yeah, I mean, he could make changes. He's got the depth, hasn't he? There are good players on the bench. I spoke during commentary about maybe a lack of sort of natural width in the team. They've had some good moments out wide actually later on in the half, but yeah, they could maybe look at someone like Sarmiento, who's a bit of a match winner, to come on. Arsene, the left back, maybe he might offer a bit more going forward than Neto Borges has in the first half. And then there's Riley McGree, who I think would probably ordinarily be in Middlesbrough's first choice starting 11. He's just back from injury. You do wonder if Riley McGree will come on sooner rather than later. He's got options, Helberg, but they just need to show a bit more quality, Middlesbrough, and stay calmer amid this ferocious Lincoln City press, which is not a press high up the pitch, but all over the ground. They're just in your face, looking to apply pressure, and it's done a great job.
Wonderful stuff from you, Adrian Clark. Ian, down to our commentary team at the Riverside for our early kick-off. Well, currently it's Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln City 1. Later we'll bring you Sheffield United against Birmingham. But before we get a preview of that with Perry Groves, let's get a quick weather report on TalkSport 2, thanks to QuickFit.
TalkSport 2 Weather Report. With QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Our game at the Riverside, the heat wave has broken. 20 degrees still, though, with sunny intervals for this game live on TalkSport 2. Whilst we head across to the, south to Sheffield for our late game between Sheffield United and Birmingham, where it's currently 23 degrees with sunny intervals. So a little bit nicer football weather than the 36 degrees it would have been earlier this week, but still lovely and sunny for the fans visiting the games up in the northeast. Those were today's weather reports, brought to you by QuickFit, with over 600 centres across the UK, most of which are open 7 days a week. They're always there when you need them.
TalkSport 2 Weather Report. With QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Well, following this game on TalkSport 2, we'll head to South Yorkshire as Sheffield United take on Birmingham City. The former Arsenal and Colchester winger Perry Groves will be alongside Ian Stringer on commentary duty, and Perry joins us now. Afternoon to you, Perry. How are you enjoying this opening weekend of the EFL so far?
Happy new season, Will. Happy new season. It's you always get that buzz, don't you? You always get those butterflies in your stomach, those first league game of the season. And don't we just love the Championship? When you see like Lincoln City being 1-0 up away to Middlesbrough, one of the favourites to get, promotion. That's what the Championship's all about. Never fails to deliver. Also
promoted Bolton getting that win earlier on against Preston, who've spent so much this summer as well. It's throwing up surprises already. And listen, Perry, I've been really talked around to the idea of the top 8 all getting playoff places recently. And listen, these are two sides in Birmingham and Sheffield United who both will be looking to try and take advantage of that after mid-table finishes last year.
Yeah, very much so. If you look at Birmingham City, they came 10th last season after getting the brilliant promotion from League One. Chris Davis getting record number of points, with 111 points when they got promoted. So they had a sort of a season of solidation, shall we say, in the Championship. And if you look at Sheffield United, they come 13th. Obviously, Chris Wilder taking over from Ruben Sellers, who stunk the place out, let's be honest. They lost their 6 games and they were bottom of the league when Chris Wilder took over. So there was a little period, wasn't there, halfway through the season where they looked like that they might be challenging to get into the playoff places, but they just fell away towards the end of the season, and they lost 5 of the last 9 home games in the Championship last season. That cost them massive.
And listen, I'm a little bit excited about this Birmingham City side, because I thought Chris Davis's men showed some real strengths in the second half of the season. Younger, hungrier squad, a bunch of new guys coming in, the likes of like Carlos Vicente, John Solis, August Prisquet, and I don't know, there's a little bit of me. I'm not suddenly pushing that they're going to be a top 4, even top 2 team, but I think in the third year under Chris Davis, this should be a team pushing for the playoffs.
Well, they have to be. Obviously, Dance is doing a brilliant commentary with Clarkey, the Middlesbrough Lincoln game, massive Birmingham City fan, and I was talking to him coming up here today, and Chris Davis, he has to be round about October time, they have to be around the 8th position and a little bit better, because he knows he's under pressure from the owners, from Tom Wagner, obviously Tom Brady, who knows about winning culture and winning mentality. So he's under pressure. They give him last season. As I said, they give him last season sort of settle into the Championship. Now they're looking to kick on. You mentioned Prisquet up front. He's got 4 goals in pre-season. Looks really, really sharp. Vicente on the right-hand side, and they're playing that 4-2-3-1 system. That means Stansfield has to go out to the left. Gray's been in good form as well in pre-season. So in the forward areas, they've got a lot of energy, and this is just going to be like a high pressing game, because both teams want to press from the front and get on the front foot. So Birmingham City aren't just going to come to Bramall Lane here today and just sit deep and think we'll try and hit you on the counter attack. They'll try and be really proactive.
Yeah, their away form was so poor last year as well, so coming away from even just a point from Bramall Lane to start the season might feel like a really positive result for them. It's a really intriguing game to kick-start the season. It's our late kick-off here on TalkSport 2. Perry Groves will be there alongside Ian Stringer. I'll be here back at TalkSport 2 Towers. Looking forward to that one. Thank you very much, Perry Groves, joining us to look forward to our game. You are listening to EFL Live on TalkSport 2 with Sage, the official accounting software partner of the EFL, and the second half from the Riverside coming for you up next.
EFL Live on TalkSport 2 with Sage, official accounting software partner of the EFL. Supporting the businesses behind the badge.
Dream Team is the Suns' fantasy football game, and it's back to make every moment matter this season. From clean sheets to cards, assists, and the all-important goals! Just pick a team that picks up points, and you could win a top prize of £60,000. Download the free app to make every moment matter with the Sun Dream Team. T's and C's apply. 18 plus only.
We have come from the future to bring mankind a gift when you buy Unibond sealants.
The next generation of sealant cartridges from Unibond has landed. And right now, when you buy a Unibond silicone cartridge, you could discover a golden ticket inside worth £1,000.
You are welcome, humans. Please also enjoy a 15-year guarantee. And for mould, resistance is futile.
Unibond's next generation of sealant cartridges, available now at leading DIY retailers nationwide.
T's and C's apply.
At AJ Bell, we believe investing is for everyone. And when we say everyone, we mean your dad, Dan, Danielle, Dean, Dave, Dale, Dell's delivery driver Denise, Denise's dentist Dinesh, and Devon's strongest man, Donathan. Donathan, that can't be right. Donathan? Well, whatever your name is. If you're a real person, investing is for you too. AJ Bell, feel good investing. The value of your investments can go up or down.
TalkSport 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL. Touchdown! Plus, TalkSport 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. TalkSport 2 with official betting partner, William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
It's the prelude to the new Premier League season.
Sunday afternoon, the FA Community Shield live on TalkSport.
Goodness me!
Arsenal versus Manchester City.
Coverage from 1, kick-off 3 p.m.
Off the bar it is!
Sunday afternoon, the FA Community Shield live on TalkSport.
It's the totally immersive football experience.
Right foot in. Oh, what a goal!
EFL Live on TalkSport 2.
This is Game Day.
Half-time classifieds.
You're back on EFL Game Day Live. We'll be back with Ian Danter and Adrian Clark at the Riverside shortly, but first, your classifieds from around the EFL. In the early kick-off, Bolton Wanderers beat Preston North End 2-1. Thierry Gale with the winner there. In our 3 o'clocks, Millwall lead Bristol City by 1-0, and Adam Randall has been sent off for Bristol City. Derby County are leading 1-0 at the Valley, Sammy Smoddick's 23rd minute strike. Lincoln City lead Middlesbrough 1-0 in our game live here on TalkSport 2. It's currently Norwich City 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. Queen's Park Rangers lead 3-1 at Portsmouth. Ilias Chair with a brace in that one. It's Stoke City 1, Swansea City 1, and later live here on TalkSport 2, Sheffield United face Birmingham City.
Sky Bet League One.
In the early kickoffs, Notts County drew 1-1 with Leicester City. Conor Grant with an 81st minute equaliser. It finished Oxford United 2, MK Dons 0. Connor Brown equalising in the 95th minute. And a thriller at the SCL as Luton Town came from 3-1 down to beat Reading 4-3. Gideon Kadua with the winner in the 96th minute. In our 3 o'clock kickoffs, it's Barnsley 0, Bromley 0, Blackpool 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1. Anya Dienma with the 7th minute opener. Bradford City 0, Peterborough United 0, Burton Albion 0, Stevenage 0. Cambridge United lead Wigan Athletic by 2-0, as do Huddersfield Town lead AFC Wimbledon 2-0, but have had a man sent off. Leyton Orient 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield Town 1, Doncaster Rovers 0, and Plymouth Argyle are currently 2-0 down at home to Stockport County.
Sky Bet League 2.
In the early kickoffs in League 2, Newport County eased past Rochdale with a 3-0 win, whilst Oldham Athletic got past Port Vale with a 2-0 victory. Callum Kavanagh with both goals in the second half. In the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Acton Stanley lead Colchester United by 2-1. It's Barnet 2, Salford City 0. Cheltenham Town 1-0 up against Rotherham United. Chesterfield 1-0 down at home to Fleetwood Town. It's Crawley 0, Crewe Alexandra 0, Gillingham 0, Walsall 0. Grimsby lead Exeter City by by a goal to nil. It's goalless between Northampton and Swindon. Tranmere Rovers lead Shrewsbury Town by a goal to nil at home, and Bristol Rovers are 1-0 up at York City. That was your classifieds from around the EFL, but we return to the Riverside now for the second half of live commentary, our first of the Championship season here on your home of the EFL TalkSport 2. Don't forget, at 5:30 this afternoon we bring you live coverage from Bramall Lane of Sheffield United against Birmingham City, and tomorrow a double header of Championship action on TalkSport 2 as Watford get their campaign underway at home to Southampton. I mean, let's see what the reaction is for Southampton from around the EFL this season before West Ham United return to the second tier for the first time in a long time, and they go to Burnley to open the season. Those are at 1:30 and 4 p.m. respectively tomorrow. Your host will be Max Scott. In the meantime, back to the Riverside. Our commentary team this afternoon: Adrian Clark and Ian Danter. We're currently Lincoln City, the big underdogs, the favourites for relegation this season, lead Middlesbrough by a goal to nil.
Thanks, Will. Both teams back out there. No changes made by either Kim Helberg or the Tom Shaw, Chris Cohen axis for Lincoln City. So Lincoln will get us back underway, wearing their change strip of white with a light blue trim on the shoulders of their shirts. Middlesbrough in all red with gold numbers, and it's Vitek in goal for the Boro. Britton, Ayling, Malanda and Borges in the back four. Whittaker, Kante, Berhalter, Castledine across midfield. Lancashire and Joseph up front. For Lincoln, Wickens the keeper. Derikwa, Hamer, Towler, Elarewe and Reach. Then Jeffries, McGrandles and Vartholomeev, Draper and House in attack. And the ball is back with the Middlesbrough goalkeeper Vitek, who had the ball sent back to him by Malanda from a very tight angle, kind of rolled towards the goal line. I think he always had his eye on it, but there were a couple of Lincoln players that had their eye on it too.
I took a breath. I'm sure the goalkeeper did as well. But yeah, look, can Lincoln maintain this tempo? Can they keep it going? They look like the fittest team in the world.
Oh, given away this time by Borges, trying to bring it forward. It's been a lot of that during the course of this game from Middlesbrough, giving up possession. Draper goes down, wants a free kick, doesn't get one. And Kante passes the ball deliberately infield, looking for Berhalter, but Berhalter's ball given away, and out comes Wickens and clears right-footed the Lincoln goalkeeper down the centre of the field. House making it awkward for Malanda, and then as Jeffries closed in, Borges neatly headed it back to his keeper Radek Vitek.
We haven't mentioned their names that much because they don't have that much of the ball, but McGrandles and Vartholomeev in central midfield are a great.
Well, there's a reason I don't say his name that often.
Yeah, true. Don't blame me. But they do so much of the dirty work. They do it so well, and that's the area that Lincoln are dominating. I think Kante and Berhalter, they maybe need an extra body. That could be where Riley McGree comes into the fray a little bit later on. Maybe they can create some 3v2s, because at the moment those two are bossing it. Yeah,
he missed the World Cup through injury, Riley McGree. Would love to have been there, but he picked up an injury towards the end of the season. I think I was here for it, and I remember seeing his face as he came off, that realisation that his summer may not be what he thought it was going to be. But he's one of the options on the bench for Helberg. Lovely touch from Draper, turning around the corner for Jeffries to run onto, but that's good defending from Luke Ayling this time for Middlesbrough. A couple of minutes gone in the second half then on TalkSport 2. 1-0 to Lincoln. And now a lovely through ball for Lancashire inside the area. Shot is dealt with comfortably enough by Wickens, palms it out and then hooked away by Hamer. First shot in anger early in the second half comes from the new signing.
Brilliant play. What a ball from Britton, and a lovely run from Lancashire. Decent strike, but what I would say is a nice height for the keeper.
On the right wing it goes. Britton again tucks it infield to Berhalter. He lofts the ball into the area over Lancashire's head. Headed out by Derikwa for Lincoln. Flicked on by Draper, stopping Borges getting onto the loose ball. But now Borges will have it. Left wing, good ball in, and it's steered wide by Lancashire, and he fouled his man. Offside flag went up in the end, in actual fact, against Middlesbrough. But that's encouraging. You can hear what that's done for the supporters. It's given them a bit of a second wind. Early in the second half, though, still Boro 0, Lincoln 1. Adrian Clark.
Yeah, very good start to the second half from Middlesbrough, much more like it. They've looked at their best actually when they've gone a bit direct today, and that pass from Britton down the line for Lancashire, that they want to see more of that.
Great flick on from Tom Hamer, trying to get Jeffries away down the Lincoln right, but he ends up drifting out of play. Jack Senior's equalised for Doncaster at Mansfield in League One. That's 1-1 there. Callum Britton for Middlesbrough on the far right. Middlesbrough attacking the north stand to our left in this second half as we look down from our vantage point right at the back of the west stand here at Riverside Stadium, with the dugouts directly beneath us. Neto Borges finds Kyle Joseph, his socks rolled down towards his ankles, Grealish style. Out it goes to Callum Britton again as they spread play from left to right to Middlesbrough. Berhalter, who played at the World Cup for the United States, plays it back out to the right hand side. Whittaker now tucks it in field for Kante. Berhalter's there again, right hand corner of the area, plays a little stab pass through to Ayling on the overlap. Ball's only half cleared. Britton brings it down at the edge of the area, lofts a ball back into the area, but Hamer climbed highest of all to stop Lancashire getting anything on that. And then Derikwa absolutely sells Lancashire a dummy. He's going to have to pay to get back in, the youngster, after that from Derikwa.
Yeah, superb from Derikwa. But look, Derikwa's been great all game, hasn't he? As has Hamer, who puts in another block there, but they pulled it back for a free kick against Derikwa.
Yeah, he brought down Castledine 25 yards or so from goal to the left of centre. Somebody in Boro Red's going to fancy a crack at goal from here.
Somebody called Morgan Whittaker, I suspect. He's absolutely got this in his locker. It might be the wrong side for him, and actually I think the referee's taken this 3 or 4 yards a bit further back than where the incident happened.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not a shot now. It's more and more of a cross option.
Well, down goes the old shaving foam. Josh Corburn's got a second for Millwall. 2-0 up at 10-man Bristol City, and Stockport are 3-0 up at Plymouth. And Ryan Glover with the third for the Hatters. So, a free kick where Whittaker and Berhalter are standing over it. 3-man Lincoln Wall outside the area. It is driven by Whittaker and it grazes the roof of the net. Well, he did fancy a crack at goal. It wasn't on target. I'm not sure whether Wickens was getting there had that been half a foot lower. Goal kick, 1-0 Lincoln.
Well, full credit to him, because it was on the cusp. It was one of those where you could shoot, but it was a real, stretch. But I think that Lincoln believed he was cross it, and that's where the element of surprise came in for Whittaker, and he wasn't a million miles away from finding the top corner. But yeah, I would say that Kim Hjelberg is happier now than he was during the entirety of the first half. This has been a good start.
Space down the Lincoln right for Dom Jeffries now. Centre cross into the box. Vitek stays at home and it's headed over the bar by Hamer, who'd come forward from the back. Steered it a good yard or so over the crossbar. It's a goal kick to Middlesbrough and another half chance for the Imps.
What's he even doing there? What's Hamer doing there? He's a centre back. It's open play.
I hope that's a rhetorical question, because I can't answer that.
But I tell you what, Ayling got underneath it and he was in a terrible position. It wasn't a good piece of defending from the Borough veteran.
Cambridge 3, Wigan 0 now. What a day for Neil Harris and co back at League One level. Isaac Heath gets the third for the U's. FC Halifax Town 1, Boreham Wood 1. Boreham Wood much fancied for the National League title this year. Here is Alpha Kante for Middlesbrough, who are trailing Lincoln by a goal to 0 with 7 minutes gone in the second half here on TalkSport 2. Space for Neto Borges, 30 yards from goal. Tries a shot along the deck, but it hit combination of Lancashire and Elarewe on opposite sides and goes out of play for a Borough throw. Adrian Clark.
Well, they're pressing, aren't they? They're on the front foot here, second half. 3 efforts already from Borough, a couple from inside the box.
And now a foul throw from Middlesbrough. Gives possession straight back to Lincoln City.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Lincoln might have a second wind. I'm sure they will at some point, but just feels like their energy levels have dropped a little bit since we've resumed for the start of this second half.
A reminder that Lincoln have not lost in the league, admittedly at a lower level,
but
since late November.
No, that's phenomenal at any level, Dan. It's borderline ridiculous.
Yes. Here's Alpha Kante. Middlesbrough in possession inside their own half. Berhalter out to Britton, just over halfway, but hugging that far touchline. under pressure from Towler, who's pushed out from centre-half this time. Now he goes back into that 5-man system as Middlesbrough pick it up again on halfway with Malander. Square for the captain, Ayling. Bradford lead Peterborough by 1-0. Macaulay Gillespie for the Bantons, who went close last year in League One. Here in the Championship, Middlesbrough 0, Lincoln 1. Real story developing here on TalkSport 2. As the team who've not played in over 60 years at this level, giving more than a good account of themselves, against a team who've spent now, with the arrival of Ashley Phillips, over £40 million in this transfer window.
Yeah, well, I think that's maybe more than Lincoln have spent in their entire history. Genuinely, you know, that's what we're talking about in terms of the difference here in finances, in budget, in size of club.
Here's Leo Castledine, once of Chelsea. Comes in field from the left-hand touchline for Middlesbrough, plays it up to the edge of the area, looking for Whittaker, who made a run in from the right. But again, there was a Lincoln shirt there to clear. This time it was Hamer. Up to halfway, and Ayling gets it back. Sorry, Adrian.
There's always a Lincoln shirt there.
Yeah.
So far, anyway, in this game. But I feel like their energy levels have dropped 5%, and that wouldn't worry me if I was a Lincoln fan. But yeah, they're not quite as dominant.
El Arewe only half clears for Lincoln as a cross comes into the box. Steered out to the Middlesbrough left. Carl Joseph puts a cross along the deck, but it won't find Castledine, who can't turn and shoot. And then McGrandles, inside his own penalty area, nutmegs Morgan Whittaker. What sort of parallel universe are you and I living in at the minute, Adrian Clark?
That's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous from Conor McGrandles. But I love it. I absolutely love it. He's got time. And he just waits for Whittaker and he just slips it through his legs. I'm not sure, if I was his manager, I think I would clap. But inside I'd be like, don't do that again.
Free kick to Lincoln City. George Wickens, the keeper, is going to take it. Boston 2-0 up at Solihull Moors in the National League. There is a double change being readied down beneath us, Adrian, for Lincoln City. So they're blinking first, rather than the trailing side. Draper making a nuisance of himself just inside the area. Well, he's been making a nuisance all afternoon, in fairness.
Definitely.
And he's actually forced Malander to pass it straight out of play for a Lincoln City throw. 1-0 the Imps lead.
Yeah, maybe the managers, the co-managers, Shaw and Cohen, maybe they sense what I'm seeing, that the energy levels have dipped and they just need a little bit of help out there. You know, the guys, particularly up top, have really run their socks off.
Here comes another long throw for Lincoln from Tom Hamer into the near post. It's headed straight up in the air by Borges. Has to head it a second time. Castledine gets the better of Hamer, but then it's won back strongly by Varfolomeev. And then Towler tries to head the ball on the deck to try and win the ball back. And a hurried clearance from Middlesbrough. Nobody on halfway in red, but Derikwa can't keep it in play. That's helped Middlesbrough out a bit. And then a poor throw from Joseph. Can't find Lancashire and reach it to darting the ball looking for House. Can't get the flick on. Ayling gets there first. Just looking to see who's coming on for Lincoln. Tonto Alafe is going to come on, former Stockport striker. That's one change. You can see him down below. And the other change is Rob Street. So attacking changes.
Yeah.
Adrian Clark.
Yeah, but that's
rather than defensive ones for a team leading.
He's basically saying, give me an hour of everything you've got to the forward players. And they absolutely have. And then it's like, bang, we'll just swap you. And the other guys will carry the torch home for us.
Well, let's see whether it's House and Draper that are withdrawn for these two men I've just mentioned to come on. But here come Middlesbrough. They're a goal down, 57 gone on TalkSport 2. Given away by Bearhalter this time. And Reach can jog towards the halfway line. He's now got the run of McGrandles joining him left-hand side, but he has to hold his run up. Really nobody up there for Lincoln. They were defending deep that time. Now Derrick was in acres on this near side, the right, but Varfolomeev hasn't got his head up and hasn't seen his teammate.
Yeah, just no legs really. I think Draper's given everything he's got. He just couldn't really get up to speed on that counter.
Oh, Ben House offside. He thought he'd made a curving run to beat the offside trap, but the flag went up against him. So here comes the change for Tom Shaw and Chris Cohen. Little pat on the back for Rob Street. York City have equalised against Bristol Rovers at home. Alex Newby for the Minster men on their return to the EFL, and it is indeed Freddie Draper who has blown himself out, you might say, and the other player coming off is Dom Jeffries in actual fact. So House has stayed on, Adrian. So Rob Street comes on for Dom Jeffries. So you've got again two strong players. Rob Street joined from Cheltenham a couple of years ago, former Palace youth player, and then Tonto Olafe, as I mentioned, former Stockport player. He's on loan from Charlton, where he's not found the goal touch at all.
Good player though. I like him. I liked him in League One. He was very, very dangerous.
But he went back on loan to Stockport last year and scored just once, and he scored 34 goals in his previous 2 seasons.
Yeah, see, I'm remembering those seasons. But look, he's got himself a move to a great team.
Yeah,
no doubt about that. And he might have to settle for a place on the bench.
You can tell me whether it's changed the shape at all. We're approaching the hour mark now that those two players are on for Lincoln City, who lead by 1-0 if you're just tuning into EFL Live on TalkSport 2. Here's Whittaker into the area right hand side for Middlesbrough, forces El Arrewe to touch it behind for a corner. This is the first of 2 live games on TalkSport 2 back-to-back. Sheffield United against Birmingham City follows this from the Championship at 5:30, and then a double bill tomorrow. Watford, Southampton and Burnley, West Ham from 1 p.m. here on your home of the EFL, TalkSport 2. Not forgetting Monday Night Football on TalkSport 2, an all-Welsh derby. Cardiff from South against Wrexham of the North. Corner kick to Middlesbrough. Right wing corner, Berhalter deliberately pacing 3 or 4 steps back from the ball. Plays it back to the edge of the area, headed away by House. Derikwa might be able to pick up on the loose ball. He's the furthest forward for Lincoln. Takes a heavy touch, and that allows Whittaker to run it back. Middlesbrough had to make a triple change as Castledine tries to run through the centre of the pitch. House now back defending. Wins it back, and there Varfolomeev sees his keeper in space, tucks it back to him, and Wickens sends the ball left-footed downfield, but it won't find Olafe. Instead it finds Callum Britton. Derrick was now going back in a defensive position. It was actually him that tried to win the header on halfway just then, not Tonto Olafe.
Wing-backs pop up everywhere, don't they? They don't worry if they go over to the opposite side of the field.
I think the word interchangeable works for this Lincoln side, doesn't it?
Absolutely it does, yeah. But this triple change is an interesting one. I do see
Arfston's down there.
Yeah, Riley McGree, I think, is down there.
And Miles Peart-Harris, who's not long arrived on a free transfer after being relegated with Oxford United last season. We'll find out who they're on for in just a minute. But here come Middlesbrough, right-hand corner of the area. Britain's cross, kept away from Lancashire, and then Jimmy back in. Lancashire tucks it home. Fire a deflection. The cross from the right wasn't cleared. Castledine drove it back across the 6-yard box, and Will Lancashire stuck out a right foot, prodded it home, and that's 2-2 for the new signing to get Boro level and change the atmosphere inside the Riverside Stadium on the hour with a triple change pending. It's Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln City 1.
Well, that is an instinctive finish from a natural poacher, Will Lancashire. The cross is half cleared, and it comes out to Castledine, and he hits a beautiful half volley. It takes a deflection, it's not going in, and then Lancashire just instinctively puts out his right boot, taps it into the empty net. Really smart finish, and you have to say that goal has been coming. Middlesbrough much improved in this second half.
And so the changes see McGree, Peart-Harris and Arfston on. Castledine, who's just had that assist for the equaliser. Borges and Kante go off. So with just over an hour gone, it's game on at the Riverside. 1-1 the score. Our next game is live from Bramall Lane at 5:30. Let's get team news for Sheffield United against Birmingham City from your match commentator Ian Stringer.
Sheffield United making a couple of changes to the League Cup win over Mansfield. McCallum in defence for Norrington Davis. Former Blue Chong has a hamstring problem. He's out for the Blades. Donovan comes in. As for Birmingham City, they're unchanged from their own victory in the League Cup against Swansea. Meaning, Dance, no new signings in the 11. Prisque leads the line. Kick-off, 5:30.
I don't have a problem with that. Max Bird can wait in the wings, that's fine. John Solis is now permanent. Oh, Max Bird, keep him fit, he's great. So I'll be listening to that, as you might imagine, on my way back south to listen to Ian and Perry Groves, who are bringing you commentary from Bramall Lane at 5:30.
I'm going to listen to most of it, but if you send me that MP3 of your latest single, I will give that a listen as well, Dan.
You sweetheart. Free kick to Lincoln on halfway. Sent forward by Bartholomew, flicked on, offside flag's gone up. They haven't heard it. Alafe's put it right anyway, from right in front. He hadn't heard the whistle. So, even though Lincoln blinked first, they made two pretty attacking changes. Middlesbrough, just before they made a triple switch, have got themselves level. What does that do to the dynamic of this game? Can Middlesbrough now push on and hem Lincoln City in? They've lost possession though. Berhalter robbed on halfway by Street, freshly onto the field. Then Varfolomeyev can't get the ball any further downfield. Here come Middlesbrough with the talented Riley McGree. Finds Joseph. Tried to tuck it infield back to Riley McGree, but it was given away. But Middlesbrough win it back. A little bit lazy from Lincoln. You feel that the pendulum is swinging just that little bit towards the hosts. Morgan Whittaker, certainly the atmosphere's changed inside Riverside Stadium. 1-1 on TalkSport 2. And we played 65 minutes, so 25 to go. Ayling, lovely ball into the area, just evaded Britton. It's a good challenge in the end from Adam Reach, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick to Lincoln City. You've got to get their heads together now, the Imps, because they were in front, they've been pegged back. What has that double change done to the formation? It is still 2 up.
It's the same. Yeah, it's effectively the same. It's kind of 4-4-2, but obviously it's more 5-4-1 really, I would say. But you'll see Street tuck inside and join in as a second striker a little bit. But yeah, they just need a second wind here, Lincoln.
And they've got a lovely flick from Alafe out to the left-hand side for House. Street and Alafe have got into the box waiting for a cross. Lob to the far post, headed out for Middlesbrough by Arfston, just onto the field. But Lincoln have won it back. Street with his back to goal, 25 yards out, finds Darikwa. Darikwa trying to play it across the face of goal for Alafe, but it was blocked at source once again by the American Arfston. Now it's Lancashire, the goal scorer, who got Middlesbrough level, finding Whittaker. You can hear that the crowd have so much more belief now around the Riverside than they did 10 minutes ago.
I would not have said during any stage of the first half that Boro are favourites to win this game. I'd say it now.
Adrian Clark alongside me, Ian Danta here on Teesside, approaching the midway point of the second half. 1-1 the score. Pierre Harris, who I remember coming through the Brentford system in the middle of midfield, and then McGree thought he'd want to throw off Street, but the referee Bobby Madley disagreed, and it is a throw to the Imps in their right back position. And Derrick was giving a bit of a volley to Alafe up front about his movement, acknowledged by Alafe.
Well, it's a tough act to follow, because Draper was phenomenal, wasn't he, in his work rate, in his hold-up play, always an outlet. So Alafe has to raise his level. Otherwise, it's going to keep coming back at Lincoln City, and you know they're starting to tire, and Boro have got fresh legs as well.
Yeah, Lincoln made 2 changes. Middlesbrough made 3. You'll listen to EFL Live on TalkSport 2 with Sage, the official accounting software partner of the EFL. McGree for Middlesbrough gets away from the challenge of Hamer, drifts out to this near side, the left-hand side for Middlesbrough as they attack the north stand to our left in this second period. Whittaker coming in field again, gets a shot away from the edge of the area, but it was comfortably saved low down to his left by George Wickens. But that's another effort on target for Middlesbrough, pushing a bit harder now to turn this game around. It's 1-1.
Absolutely, they are pushing and pushing, and that's shot number 6 on target for Boro. I think at half time it was 2 apiece, so they've doubled their shots on target in the second half already. The home side, this has been miles better, and I tell you what, Riley McGree is already linking the midfield to the attack better than the player that he replaced. Everything looks a little bit more smooth now when Middlesbrough in possession.
More attacking substitutes to come for both sides as well in just a moment. But here in Middlesbrough on the right-hand side, level with the 18-yard line. Britton drops the shoulder superbly, gets to the byline, pulls it back, but straight at Bartholomew. But he only half clears it. Sent back into the box, headed up in the air by El Arewe. And then Joseph has to come out and collect on this near side. Lancashire. Now McGree tries to win a corner, does so of Bartholomew. Again, a roar goes up around the Riverside. Real belief amongst the locals that this is going to end up being 3 points for Middlesbrough. They got themselves back level. Charlton are level against Derby. That's 1-1 at the Valley. Elsewhere in the Championship, the only game without a goal is now Norwich West Brom in England's second tier. So a corner kick from the left-hand side. Berhalter sends it to the far post. Malanda heads it up in the air, volley towards goal with a scissor kick by Peart Harris, but he didn't really connect and it was blocked. Now down the right-hand side of the area, sent across the face of goal by Arfston. But Lincoln survive, and then Alafe breaks away down the left, but he's got no support, completely on his own, and goes down on halfway and actually handled the ball. Free kick given to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I thought he might have been knocked over there illegally. Referee clearly felt it was a bit of a dive and punishes him for trying to referee the game himself. But I'll tell you what, Lincoln need this substitution. They need this little breather.
Well, first of all, the substitution for Middlesbrough. Carl Joseph on debut has played 70 minutes and he's off, and Jeremy Sarmiento, who we mentioned earlier, is on.
Yeah, and he brings a note for Malanda, who then passes it on to Ayling.
Yeah,
I like it. I like an in-game note. I like an in-game note.
So, have you left the iron on or something like that? The other change sees Rico Hackett, once of Portsmouth, coming on for Ben House. So all the three effective front players for Lincoln have now been switched around. With 20 minutes to go, 1-1 on TalkSport 2.
And that will happen most games for Lincoln, because that's what the managers demand. Give us everything, and then we'll put someone else on to sort of carry that baton home. And I think it's a policy that's going to work really well for Lincoln this season.
Hackett involved early on, having just entered the fray, but the ball's given away by Lincoln. And here is Arfston, who'll be competing with the likes of Borges for the left-back role. No Matt Targett here anymore, so chances there for Arfston to
good player, I think,
seal that position for himself.
Yeah, 2-footed, he can operate on either side. If Britton's out, he could go onto that flank as well. But yeah, I think he's an exciting acquisition, actually.
Well, here he is, Arfston.
Oh, here we go.
Lovely quick feet to get away from Bartholomew. Tucks it down the left-hand side of the area, but good defending from Derikwa, sliding in ahead of Whittaker, who's now playing on the left for Middlesbrough, and just hits a long ball downfield to get it out of harm's way. 1-1, 71 played in the Championship at the moment. Charlton 1, Derby 1, Norwich 0, West Brom 0, Portsmouth 1, QPR 3, Stoke 1, Swansea 2. As Sarmiento drifts in for the left-hand side and forces Hamer to thump it out of play for a throw. Adam Eder just scored that second goal for Swansea in the Potteries to put Swansea 2-1 up. And earlier today, you heard it live on TalkSport, Bolton beating Preston in the Lancashire derby by 2-1, and Millwall won 2-0 at 10-man Bristol City, winning rather at 10-man Bristol City.
On the shape, by the way, they have gone to a back four. I thought they had. It's more of a 4-4-2 than it was. It's obviously 4-5-1 out of possession, but they tried to make it 4-4-2 in possession.
Yeah, Towler's gone to left back effectively.
Yeah, exactly. Reach is more of a sort of defensive left winger instead. Yeah, there's a definite shape switch there from the managers.
Forward come Middlesbrough, looking for a winner. Here's Sarmiento with time to run at Derikwa, gets into the area, but the shot is straight to the keeper, who's right behind it, George Wickens, and holds on to it. Stays Middlesbrough 1, Lincoln 1 on TalkSport 2. Don't forget Sheffield United Birmingham follows straight after this commentary for you on your home of the EFL, TalkSport 2. And there's the little matter of the Community Shield on TalkSport tomorrow, whilst we're bringing the double bill of EFL games here on 2. Arsenal Manchester City.
Yeah.
Does it matter?
Is it a friendly or not? Depends on the result.
If you're Kevin Keegan punching Billy Bremner in 1974, it's not a friendly. Crystal Palace don't call it a friendly either. That went right in the trophy cabinet last year.
Absolutely.
Wickens it's been closed down by Lancashire. Gets it clear. Britain kept it in play, but at the expense of giving it away. Varfolomeev slides in to win it back for Lincoln City. And Varfolomeev wins a throw down the left-hand side. Now, how much ambition have Lincoln City got left at this point? They've led for a long time. They've been pegged back. Is what we have, we hold, the instinct in the Imps players at this point at 1-1?
At the moment, yeah, because they're being pushed back, aren't they? They're on the edge of their own box. They haven't had much territory. You think of the first half, so much time spent in the final third, very little really since half time.
76% possession for Middlesbrough.
In the second half alone, 19.5% possession has belonged to Lincoln. That's not enough.
Here's Sarmiento for the Boro. It's steered out to the left-hand side at Arston, level with the 18-yard line. Plays a little 1-2 with Whittaker, tries to cut infield. He's forced to go backwards of square to Malanda. Now Sarmiento takes over once again, but there's loads of white shirts around there, closing down the angles. Whittaker plays across him from the left-hand side. Lazy clearance from Hamer. Comes out to Piet Harris, tees up Berhalter, who tried a shot from 30 yards, but it was blocked at source by Varfolomeev. Throw into Middlesbrough, 1-1.
I really like Varfolomeev. He is everywhere.
Ailing with a cross. Whittaker with a header, steers it wide. Could have done a bit better, I think, there, Morgan Whittaker, and he puts his shirt over his head as if to say, yeah, I could have done better there.
It's a winger's header. It's what I would have done.
I suppose you're speaking from experience.
Yeah, look, I'm sure he scored the odd header. I got the odd one, actually, but I think he might have closed his eyes at the key moment. It fell to the wrong man, the cross, because there's nothing wrong with the cross. If that falls to Lancashire's head, bosh, I think that's 2-1.
Deadlock broken at Carrow Road. Norwich 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Orna Hegerberg has put West Bromwich Albion in front. Two sides who finished last season pretty well.
Fancy,
Norwich very well.
Yeah, I think Norwich and West Brom will both have better seasons. Not ideal for the Canaries.
No East Anglian derby for them this year, but there is what they call the Black Country derby, although some people would argue that is a Black Country derby. Wolves West Brom.
Yeah, that's a proper derby.
They used to call Wolves Stoke the old Staffordshire derby when the boundaries were slightly different back in the day, but there's no doubt that Wolves and West Brom fans do not like each other. That derby's back, and don't forget, in the EFL this year, not too long before Millwall play West Ham at the Den. I think I'm there for that.
Wow, yeah. I'm looking forward to Cardiff Wrexham Monday. I'll be there.
Yeah, you're there with Nigel Adderley, 8 o'clock Monday night. Free kick for Lincoln. At 1-1 into the box. It's an unconvincing header from Berhalter. Ailing helps it clear, though. That's good work from Middlesbrough to play through the lines, and Sarmiento plays it back to Max Arfston. Back up to Sarmiento on halfway. 1-1 the score on TalkSport 2. Intriguingly poised here on Teesside. Whittaker, who plays a pretty aimed ball out to the right-hand side, but Britain can at least keep it in, but he had to track back good 10 or 15 yards in order to keep possession. Malanda finds Whittaker. Now Berhalter, inside right position for the hosts. Whittaker's just gone ahead of him, drifting infield once more. The former Plymouth man, Ailing, finds Piet Harris. Plays a 1-2 with Whittaker, has it now in the centre of the Lincoln half. Drifting further towards the left, gives it out to the left wing, and Sarmiento. Piet Harris goes again, stays on side. Works it back to the former Brighton man, Sarmiento. He lays it off to Arfston. Patient build-up here from Middlesbrough. Looking for the angle, looking for the lock to pick. Now space for Berhalter, 30 yards from goal. Steers it wide right for Britain. Up against McGrandles. Gets on the outside of him, drives it into the nearest post, but Elarewe there to stab it clear. Back into the area it goes. Ailing making a run, but slid in. Riley Towler. Anywhere will do for Lincoln right now.
It's attack versus defence now. The pattern has kind of been set. They need a bit more from Alafe. Can he get hold of the ball? Can he help Lincoln get up the pitch? Because at the moment they cannot get out their own half. It's all Boro, and they're moving the ball so much quicker now than they did earlier on in the game.
Huddersfield 3, AFC Wimbledon 0. Bojan Radulovic with the third. Yorker in front now against Bristol Rovers. 3-2 to the Minster men on their return to the EFL. And Mansfield have turned it around against Doncaster. Lewis Reed has made it 2-1 to the Stags. Bromley 1-0 up at Barnsley. Here is Morgan Whittaker into the area for Middlesbrough, but he's just out-muscled by Deji Elerewe, who just stood his ground. There was a bit of hesitation from Whittaker as he got into the area, and that was all that Elerewe needed to then just get himself in between man and ball, and out of play goes for a goal kick, 1-1.
It's brilliant defending from Elerewe, absolutely colossal. Whittaker, because it's a beautiful little pass around the corner from Pert Harris, he's got to take a swing at it with his right. He has to take it early, and he doesn't want to, because that's not his stronger foot. And it blows my mind that professional footballers, especially at this level, aren't confident enough to take a strike with either foot. You know, the amount of training that they do. So that was it was little wonder that Whittaker was moaned at by a whole string of teammates there. They were on his back.
Cambridge 3, Wigan 2. Wigan mounting a comeback. They were 3-0 down, but Akil Higgins makes it 3-2 there. Cheltenham 2, Rotherham 1. Rotherham now managed by Alex Bruce, with Steve McLaren up in the boardroom. Now down the right side of the area for Middlesbrough, Callum Britton. Again, Elerewe stands his ground and just calmly lets it roll behind. No panic for Deji Elerewe, who's just joined from Bromley for an undisclosed fee.
Good player.
He looks like he's got a cigar on. 22 years of age.
Decent. He looks a good acquisition to me. Him, Hamer, Derikwa, locking down that side of the pitch, those three. Absolutely so resilient.
Still 1-1 with 10 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. But Middlesbrough pushing, probing, desperate to find that opening. Here's Rico Hackett, meantime, for Lincoln. Alafe trying to get in between the goalkeeper and the defender and nearly got there. That was a hairy moment, but Vitek got there in the end for Middlesbrough. 1-1 it stays.
Yeah, it wasn't the best back header, was it, from Ayling? And I think if Alafe sticks his leg out a little bit earlier, he might connect with the ball and lob it over Vitek there. So yeah, that was heart in mouth moment. But yeah, look, game is beautifully poised, because Lincoln can pull off one precision counter, they steal the points here, but it still feels like Boro will grind out a win.
Here's Sarmiento for Boro this time. Down the left hand side, plays it infield to the centre of the half, and Berhalter, they're urging him to shoot, but instead he goes just to his left for Peter Harris. Further out to the left wing, and Arfston up against Rob Street, who's back defending. He's barely touched the ball further forward, Street, since he's come on as a substitute. McGree now takes over for the Teesiders. Back it goes to Peter Harris. Once again, everybody in Lincoln White behind the ball in their own defensive third, saying they shall not pass. Will they, though? Boro have got the quality to win this game if they can pick the right pass, and they're trying to now with Malanda, but he gives it away. Rico Hackett can't hold on to the ball, though. Malanda has it back. 8.5 to go. Poor ball in field from McGree this time, and then a foul on Street from Arfston, and that is a bit of a break in play that will do Lincoln City's players the world of good. Adrian Clark, 1-1.
Yeah, they'd love a hydration break right now, wouldn't they? They'd love one.
I think there's 11 of those players. Yeah, nobody else in this stadium wants a hydration break. Just them.
Yeah, look, they've worked so hard, Lincoln. Phenomenal first half performance. Second half, they've run out of gas. I think it's totally understandable with the way that they play the game. And Boro have worn them down, really. And this is, I think it's a fair scoreline at the moment, but Boro certainly in the ascendancy, and if anyone's going to score a third goal, you feel like it'll be the host.
They're at it again, Lincoln. I've just seen Deji Elerewe come forward from centre half and play as a left winger and force a long throw.
Yeah, superb, isn't it? It's just they've all got that licence. If you want to go and hunt the ball, you want to go and win it back for us, just go, do it. I love that freedom.
It's a long throw for Lincoln. This is their main weapon, and Tom Hamer has it out the left hand side. As soon as I say that, takes it short to McGrandles down the left wing, spins away from two challenges, still going into the area. McGrandles plays it to the far post, hack it down, and the header in, but the offside flag goes up to deny Tonto Alafe. They thought they'd retaken the lead, but Middlesbrough get on with it quickly, and Derikwa has to put a header in on halfway to stop McGree getting away down the left-hand side.
Oh my goodness, what a goal that would have been. What a goal. McGrandles, he's so calm. He's unbelievable. What a player he is. Dribbles down the left, holds on to it, two players around him, goes past them and then delivers a beautiful ball to the far stick. It's nodded back across the face of goal, and Alafe is just offside.
Yeah.
It's a good decision.
Stays 1-1 on TalkSport 2, but time ticks away at the Riverside. 83 and a half gone. Ayling for Middlesbrough hits it straight against the impressive McGrandles. Now the other number 14 out there, Miles Peart-Harris for Middlesbrough, steers the ball back out to this near side, and Max Arfston looking to go on the outside of Street, pulls the ball back to the edge of the area. What a sliding challenge for Lincoln from Tom Hamer, and now Alafe's on the chase and gets into the Middlesbrough half. Just beats Malanda to the ball, no support for him yet. Reach now going like an express train, trying to get up the field and join him. Alafe trying to go past Malanda, gets to the byline, whips the ball in near post, but it's straight to the goalkeeper Vitek. End-to-end stuff at the Riverside, stays 1-1.
Yeah, look, Lincoln have always got that one breakaway in their locker. And Alafe's got pace. I don't know whether he made the right decision there though, as Boro come again.
Whittaker down the inside right channel for Middlesbrough, flicks it back to Sebastian Berhalter. Now Riley McGree finds Whittaker right hand corner of the area. Britton with a deep cross to the far post. Derikwa's got time to bring it down, but he elects to head it clear. Only as far as Arston, 25 yards from goal. Berhalter tries an ambitious drive, comes out to him again, another drive, hits Towler, and then Bretton wins it back, right hand corner of the area, pulls it back looking for McGree, only half cleared. Berhalter clips it into the area, headed away by Street. It's all hands to the pump for Lincoln City.
Oh, loving this defending.
Berhalter with a cross this time, headed out by Hamer. Circle the wagons, here come Middlesbrough for the last 5 minutes of the 90. 1-1 the score.
Oh, they're fighting for the badge though, aren't they? The Imps rear guard, bodies on the line. There's always a white shirt there.
El Arewe puts it out of play to see for a throw reach. Oh, he kept it in, but only at the expense of giving it to Luke Ayling. Ayling with the latest cross, Langshear just goes over his head, and Derikwa has to tongue it behind for a Middlesbrough corner at the north stand end. Cacophonous noise inside the Riverside now, 1-1.
Oh, it's a cracking game. Really, really excellent advert for the Championship. Second half, just to give you an idea, Boro 11 shots, Lincoln 1. But the first half, the Imps were so good, so we really are sort of a draw would be the fairest result. It's been an absolute game of two halves.
Corner kick to be taken by Berhalter to the far post, drops at the 6-yard line, stab goalwards, hits the post, and then Whittaker turns the Peart-Harris, I beg your pardon, steers the follow-up over the bar, and it's a goal kick to Lincoln. I'm not sure who got the prodded effort that came off the upright. It might have been Langshear, but in the end, after the deflection onto the post, it came off El Arewe onto the upright. It was indeed Langshear trying to win it off the crossbar, and Peart-Harris couldn't steer it in on the rebound.
Yeah, Langshear's effort took a handy deflection, and you think, well, it's just going top corner, and it's the underside of the bar as well. It's less than an inch away from being the winner.
Here's Langshear again, trying to get past El Arewe. He's into the area, the referee's blown for a foul on El Arewe by Langshear. The folks around here, around us in the West Stand, don't like it.
It was a foul. He had his hands on his back, El Arewe. I mean, centre-halves never used to go down when that kind of thing happens, but they do now. But he uses the shoulders as leverage there, does Will Langshear. I think the referee's had a great game.
Bobby Madley, very experienced Premier League official, let's face it. Charlton 2, Derby County 1. Tyrese Campbell putting the Addicts in front, coming from behind if I remember rightly. Walsall lead at Gillingham in League 2 late on. Isaac Moore for the Saddlers. And West Brom have got second at Norwich. Norwich 0, West Brom 2. Jimmy J Morgan for the Baggies. Throw in to Lincoln. Guess what? It's going to be a long throw. Well, potentially. They've got one final double change in their locker. Andre Kubis, a Romanian international who was once at AC Milan, is going to be on in a minute. and so too is Tom Bayliss. Here's the long throw from Hamer into the Middlesbrough box, only half cleared. Comes out to Derikwa, lofts it back towards the far post. McGree brings it down, but he's been dispossessed by Rico Hackett. Plays it back into midfield for McGrandles. Diagonal ball into the Middlesbrough area. Up goes Hamer, knocks it down. Oh, it's a great clearance from in front of his own goal, but it's won back by Towler, but he runs into McGree, and there's nervousness at the back from Middlesbrough now, but McGree gets it clear. And then Whittaker with a lovely touch in field to keep it away from reach and find Ayling. Ayling's ball from right to left picks out Arfston, and then he gives it away. Little touch from Derikwa down for Rob Street. Alafe wants it played in field, he gets it in field, but then he loses out, and he actually fouled his man Peter Harris in trying to win it back. 89 minutes gone, Clarkey. 1 to go plus added time. 1-1.
I don't want it to end. I do not want this game to end. It's just built towards a sort of fever pitch now, hasn't it? Where there was shock in the first half because a great upset was on the cards. Lincoln were magnificent. Second half, Middlesbrough have been more like the team we thought they'd be.
No, would there still be a shock if it stays at 1-1?
Yeah.
When the full-time whistle is blown?
Yeah, not to me. I think Lincoln will make it hard for a lot of teams, but they've played with so much heart, haven't they? The Imps. Yeah. They're a real team.
Don't forget, stay on this frequency on TalkSport 2 for Sheffield United against Birmingham City. Straight after this commentary, we'll be off to Bramall Lane very shortly with Ian Stringer and Perry Groves. About to find out how much added time we've got here at the Riverside first at 1-1. Middlesbrough pushing again down the right-hand side with Callum Britton. Tucked back to the right-hand side. Now McGree's made a smart run down towards the corner flag on that right-hand side. Lovely turn to get away from Varfolomeev. Now comes in field along the dead ball line. Lancashire! Winner for Middlesbrough! The new hero of Teesside, Will Lancashire at the double. McGree with a superb set-up play. And as we take it to stoppage time, the Imps' resistance is finally broken. Kim Hellberg celebrates wildly in his technical area. And Will Lancashire is already becoming a firm favourite on Teesside. He's won it in added time. It's Middlesbrough 2, Lincoln City 1.
Well, this is heartbreaking for Lincoln City. I feel for them. But what a goal, what an assist from Riley McGree. He's by the corner flag, he steps over the ball and he beats Varfolomeev. He gets to the byline and he plays with his head up and he flicks a beautiful little pass into the near post for Lancashire, and this place has gone absolutely nuts. It's a fantastic winner, and it's made by McGree and finished by a guy that's going to score a lot of goals this season in Will Lancashire. But my heart goes out to Lincoln City.
Well, they're bringing on Tom Bayliss and Andre Kubis anyway, are Lincoln City, as we've moved into added time. 3 minutes minimum were added on. We've already had a minute and a half of that, but of course a lot of that's been taken up with the celebrations. We haven't kicked back off yet here on TalkSport 2. £10 million from Tottenham Hotspur. Looks jolly good business right now for Middlesbrough, bringing in Will Lancashire. 3 goals in 2 games. Scored 12 on loan at Oxford last year, and he's a quarter of the way to that now. Alfie Jones, incidentally, is on for Middlesbrough to bolster the back line for these last few minutes.
What a game. And we talked about it building towards a fever pitch, didn't we? Building towards sort of a climax, a crescendo, and it's been Boro. You know, we've both said it, that it felt like if anyone was going to get that winner, it would be the host. But what a way to win it, because it was a moment of brilliance from Riley McGree, who is one of Middlesbrough's star performers. That was a genius piece of creativity from him. And look, Lancashire's got 2 goals, and what's the distance? I would say that there's a
combined distance of
3 yards,
maybe.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does it? Does not matter.
Long throw for Lincoln. They need for this to work. They're going to get a point. In it goes into the Middlesbrough box, headed away, but recycled out to this right-hand side for Lincoln. McGrandles with the ball back into the box. Should be Vitex, and is. And that catch from the new Boro keeper cheered almost as much as the winner from Lancashire. We played the 3 minutes of minimum added time, but there'll probably be at least a minute more. On TalkSport 2, Middlesbrough have come from behind to lead late on. After all the pressure and the slight disbelief at half-time being a goal down, boy how they've rallied in this second half. And 2 goals from their new striker appears to have done the trick. Have Lincoln got anything left in their locker, or is their first game back at this level going to end in defeat? Crossfield ball right to left from Bartholomew. Finds Rico Hackett, who's got Bayliss in support. Hackett trying to keep possession. Does well, actually. Holding off his man Berhalter. And the ball's back on halfway with Conor McGrandles. Referee looks at his watch. McGrandles just hits a Hail Mary down the centre of the field, headed out by Alfie Jones, just onto the field. Bartholomew tucks it back, but can't find his man. Break is on. 3-on-2 for Middlesbrough. Peter Harris wants it, but instead Lancashire steers it through to McGree, up to the edge of the area, steps inside and gets dispossessed. And away come Lincoln. Is there anything left in this game? They've got 2 up. They've just hit it long downfield, asking Hackett to try and win a fight ball, which he's not done. Britain got there first. And now Berhalter's got acres of space in which to collect the ball for Middlesbrough. And there goes the full-time whistle. And Middlesbrough kick off the season with a hard-fought victory against newly promoted Lincoln. But it's a newly acquired hero on the Teesside terraces that takes the headlines. Will Lancashire with a brace for the Boro to give them all 3 points. They were 1-0 down at half-time. Adam Reach had scored a sweet half volley when Lincoln were bossing it in the first half, but they ran out of steam. Middlesbrough kept going. They made the changes. Lancashire got Boro level from Carl Joseph's drilled cross across the face of goal, and then when Riley McGree showed Bartholomew a clean pair of heels right on the dead ball line late on, he played a wicked ball in front of the face of goal, steered in expertly by Lancashire, and the Lincoln resistance was broken. But they will bloody some noses in the championship this year, that's for sure. And they work so hard for their 3,000 supporters away to the far side, who are giving them a rapturous round of applause. But you can't hear them, A, because of Pigbag, and B, because of the delighted Boro support who are making their way home, knowing they got 3 points in the bag to start their season, where promotion is most definitely the aim. And the aim was true for Will Lancashire when it mattered most. Full time at the Riverside. Middlesbrough 2, Lincoln City 1.
Heartbreaking for Lincoln, but I mean, as Dan said there, Adrian, this is a team who will cause people all sorts of trouble this season, and whilst a disappointing result, they really gave a great account of themselves today.
Oh, brilliant, yeah. And I was looking at, when the referee blew the final whistle, I looked over at the Lincoln fans. All of them started clapping the moment the final whistle came, arms above their head, clapping their team, because they know they've given it everything possible. I feel for the defenders in particular, who showed such resilience to fight and block and defend and throw their bodies on the line in that second half.
Why are they booing the referee? I've no idea. I never understood that.
Yeah.
Good grief.
But it was a great game, Will. It was absolutely superb. And yeah, as heartbreaking as it is for Lincoln City, well done Boro, because they weren't playing well, but the second half they were a different team, and they had a real intensity about them, and they kept going and they kept going and they kept going, and they battered Lincoln really in that second half. 16 shots to 1 from half time onwards, so it's hard to begrudge them getting that late winner, and what a winner it was.
And listen, you mentioned it before the game, whilst Will Lancashire was seen as the man who could maybe come in and help them with those woes, the latter half of last season, the number of games that Boro could have and maybe should have taken more points from and just couldn't convert their chances. 3 goals in his opening 2 games, 2 in his opening championship game for them. A hero made on day one.
definitely. Yeah, they love him here already, Will Lancashire. He didn't have that many touches. He wasn't heavily involved.
Who's that sound like in the Premier League who gets loads of goals?
No, I know. And look, and as we just said on commentary, a total yardage, I would say, of 3 or 4 yards tops for the 2 goals that he scored. There were 2 poachers finishes, instinctive, but there he is in those positions of maximum opportunity, and he looks like a natural predator to me, Will Lancashire, and that was the missing link. For me, there were 2 missing links last year. I didn't think they had a top keeper, and I didn't think they had a natural goal scorer. They've addressed it. Vitek's a good keeper, and Lancashire has shown today that he's going to be a very valuable front man for them. So yeah, look, what a game it was. The bottom line is Lincoln did run out of gas. They gave everything for an hour, and then they hit the wall, and Middlesbrough proved too strong in the end.
Well, listen, it's time now to pick our man of the match with Sage.
Man of the Match on TalkSport 2 with Sage, official accounting software partner of the EFL, supporting the businesses behind the badge.
Yeah, the question is, Adrian Clark, can you give it to a man who had so few touches, who only scored from 3 or 4 yards out, but he did get both goals in a 2-1 win?
I'm really torn here. I'm going to be controversial. I'm not going to give it to Lancashire. He's got enough glory.
Ooh.
He doesn't need the man of the match award here. 2 great strikers finishes, I'll give him that. But for me, the man of the match has to be one of the Lincoln players, because they put in a phenomenal shift. I mean, I could give it to any one of 3, 4 or 5 of the players. I'm going to give it to Derikwa, who I thought was just a monster for Lincoln, just here, there and everywhere. He was magnificent. But same for Hamer, same for Elarewe, same for Varfolomev, same for McGrandles. Lincoln players worked their socks off today, and in a way I feel gutted for them that they've not taken anything from the match.
Well, look, next weekend they get their first home game of the year in the EFL, the first since returning to the Championship after 65 years away. They get Portsmouth at home. What a joy that's going to be in the 12:30s for them next week. If they're 2,500-3,000 odd fans who have travelled for this game or anything to go by, Dance, that's going to be a real joy next weekend.
It's a great stadium to go and watch football. Sinsel Bank, I think it's got a new sponsor's name and I can't remember it now off the top of my head, but because of the impregnability of that place last season and the way they played, certainly in the first half here today, those Lincoln fans will turn up next week thinking, well, it's not long that Portsmouth were at 3rd tier level with us. We can give them a good game, although Portsmouth have been beaten today, haven't they, by Queen's Park Rangers. So, you know,
and had a tough pre-season in terms of signings, in terms of players going out. Like Portsmouth fans, I know, and they are surprisingly aplenty in the TalkSport family. I was speaking with Luke Moore last weekend. They're not excited about this season right now. They are dreading it. So real opportunity.
Gives Lincoln all the encouragement in the world then.
I think it's a good first home fixture, and based on what I've seen here today, particularly with the team that started, you know, with Draper up top and House, you know, those two will be a massive handful for the Portsmouth rearguard. The energy, the intensity of Lincoln's play is going to get them some points, trust me. This, we said it at the start of the game, this is going to be one of the toughest away assignments for any team in the Championship this season, and Lincoln absolutely made a great account of themselves here today. They'll win plenty of games. How will they react to the first defeat since November at
Wickham?
That's the only sort of asterisk against them. But looking at the team, the spirit, the organisation, I think they're going to be just fine. And I would actually fancy them, based on what I've seen here today, fancy them to beat Pompey next weekend.
I get the feeling when they go through the game on Monday, so I assume they will, back at the training ground, with their co-managers, I think they'll see a lot more positives than negatives in the performance.
Yeah, I think you absolutely spot on that, Dance. Wonderful stuff from the pair of you. Thank you so much to Ian Dan, to Adrian Clark for wonderful work from the Riverside as we get our Talk Sports 2 campaign underway in the Championship. 3rd live game of 7 across this weekend. A couple of late goals to update you from around the EFL, particularly Walsall, a 3rd added at Gillingham. Aaron Presley in the 96th minute there to seal all 3 points for them in League 2. Salford City grab a late one at Barnet, but will lose that one 3-1. And we'll keep you updated and bring you all of those scores from around the EFL shortly. You're listening to the EFL Live on TalkSport 2 with Sage, the official accounting software partner of the EFL. Next up on EFL Live, the 5:30 kickoff at Bramall Lane as Sheffield United take on Birmingham City.
Man of the Match on TalkSport 2 with Sage, official accounting software partner of the EFL, supporting the businesses behind the badge. EFL Live on TalkSport 2 with Sage, official accounting software partner of the EFL. Search sage.com and get started for free.
You've done the business. Bathroom plumbed, kitchen plastered. Now, let Nissan's van range do the rest. With award-winning Townstar's Car Light Comfort, Prima Star's large cargo space and easy loading, or new